Welcome back. Another Sunday, another day of great chapters, but also a special day because this is the weekly Goateecast. We have a very special guest today, the one and only Mr. Goatee. I will let our guest have the pleasure of doing the first intro. Take it away.
Oh God, I got an intro. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Say the line.
Oh, okay. Well, hi there. I'm Mr. Goatee. I do weeby covers on YouTube. People say that I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna assume that's a good thing. Wink, wink.
Ladies,
ladies. Wink. And I'm a helpless weeb. I love anime. I'm getting into manga. So
Yes.
I figured that this would be a good place to talk about what I've enjoyed so far. So
Yes.
I'm happy to be here. I'm
yeah,
excited.
just don't read Hunter x Hunter. You'll be fine.
Hunter
Oh, dude, I already caught
it's
up on
called
Hunter
Hunter
x
Hunter.
Oh,
I already caught up on Hunter x Hunter, man.
Hunter x
Oh,
Hunter's
I'm sorry.
great. It's a good series. It's just like the way it's handled is so frustrating.
You gotta wait a year for the next.
Oh, it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
you just gotta
Like,
go
I
with
love
the
Hunter
flow.
x Hunter as much as everyone else. I think it is a phenomenal series. It's just I
That's right.
don't like the way Togashi just like I understand he has health issues and stuff, but he doesn't get anyone else to like draw it for him. He has a wife that makes
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing that makes Hunter x Hunter good is the story. Give someone else the art. You don't need to draw. Just
Yeah, the
have
art's
the story.
okay.
man.
The art's
all we
alright.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just have someone draw it for him. I think it would be great. I've talked about this with a friend. It would be
I
the
know.
perfect way to go about it.
And I think Hunter x Hunter fans are sort of like desensitized since they barely get any content. They're like, okay, it's the best thing ever made. Don't touch any other series when Yu Yu Hakusho is the superior series.
They also
Ooh, I don't know about that fighting words there. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So I saw this post a while ago and it was like, oh, Hunter x Hunter fans say Hunter x Hunter has like amazing characters, but then these are the villains, and then it's like, it's Ronald McDonald, Flick from Bug's Life, and then like some rapper with like a cross on a tattoo.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's
Rolling 21 Savage.
Really
Yeah.
funny, 'cause I
yeah, that's
get
it. 21 Savage. Yeah.
Wait, did they?
I was
Is
reading
he
it-
supposed to be Crollo?
Yeah.
We were reading like we were reading like some reviewers like this guy has this thing of like Hunter x Hunter's like Hunter x Hunter manga nutshell. You know how like every page is like walls of text or whatever. All it is the guy describing like a nutritional breakfast. Yeah, like here, hold on. I'm gonna post it in the. I have it. Right there. Oh, I'm putting Kino of Science. So.
Oh my! It's so true though.
Oh, Togashi, if you're listening to this, please.
Togashi, I know you're Togashi.
I know you're
Togashi,
listening before you play Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Togashi, I know you go on hiatus every time Real Human Being uploads a new video, but if you're listening to this, just give up, man.
Dude, even Berserk is actually coming back off break, man. You have no excuse.
I think he secretly wants to make it into a light novel. Look at that.
You know what? That's fine.
Hey,
That's fine.
who knows?
Maybe
that's the future for Hunter.
Dude, that means if it becomes a light novel, it'll be like Sword Art Online. Someone else will draw it, and then we get an anime.
There you go.
And for those of you that somehow don't know, I am Real Human Being. I am surprisingly known for more than just Stinky. At least I hope I am. That's pretty much all you need to know about me. Please stop commenting it, please. I'm getting desperate, and if I see one more comment, I'm gonna freak. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll leave it up to your interpretation what that means.
I'm gonna freak it.
Okay, as always, I'm Arda. Shit-ass videos are coming soon, I promise. But for now, you can just catch me at Images You Can Hear on Facebook.
Yeah, and my name's Hector. And no, I don't go by Hector.
Yeah, he does.
No, I don't.
Yeah, he does.
No, I
Put it in
don't.
the
Yeah,
thumbnail. Put it in the
No,
thumbnail right now.
don't. Because
Yes, he does.
If the guest says it.
my friends are starting to call me Hector. It's so annoying.
It's a good name.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Where are your only friends, Kector? That's why.
You guys started calling me
friends.
Sloppy
Yeah,
Joe,
go
and
ahead.
that stuck.
But yeah, two things to say: read Chainsaw Man and read the Transformers manga, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later.
Oh shit.
Little Transformers fan over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say it right now, get this out of the way. I like a lot of ideas of Transformers. The Michael Bay movies are some of my favorite movies ever, and I just like I can't just get into anything else. So Hector, I'm excited to spar with you over Transformers later on.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
That's gonna be very fun. So
No, I
it's,
agree with you though, dude. The Bayformers, the movies by Michael Bay are just insane.
Yes, thank you. Okay, at least like the first one and the last one, like for sure.
Dude, I'm
Oh, I
willing.
totally
I'm
agree.
willing to say this. The 2007 one was probably the best blockbuster of the 2010s.
No, cause wait, 2000. Wait,
No, 'cause Avatar-
you mean pre 2010s?
Pre, yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, no, cause
Okay.
Avatar exists, so.
Yeah.
But we're opening up a whole can of worms there.
Yeah, okay, let's
Okay,
stop.
you know what? Maybe I'll start a movie cast someday.
Yeah,
One
I'll
of the
be on
best.
that. I'll see you guys there.
Can
But
we agree to
little
disagree
thing
then?
though. All right, best movie of the pre-10s, Avatar. Best movie of the post-10s, Alita.
Well, that's why we just did an episode on Alita.
Yeah. So
Which actually,
go watch
I just showed my niece that movie for the first time, and she loved it. I'm very happy about that.
Big.
give her like a
Awesome.
good character to look forward to.
Thank-
Also,
yes.
I currently now own all of Alita, Battle Angel Alita, and all of Last Order.
Yeah,
physically.
it's crazy that you ordered Last
Lucky
Order
fucking
too.
bastard.
Hell yeah, bro.
Now I'm gonna order all of Jojo next, so that's my plan.
Damn. That's
unemployment
a
be hitting
big
you.
that's a big feat right there.
Well,
But-
there's only 4 parts physically out right now.
That's
so.
true. That's true. But it's an investment, you know. They're gonna
Yeah.
publish the other parts.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
But speaking of JoJo, our guest Mr. Goatee has done some pretty great English covers of some JoJo songs as well, and I just want to like highlight I actually was introduced to you by the fellas on this podcast, and what like stuck out to me was the fact that you did an English cover of the Paranoia Agent opening. That was crazy. Because I would never expect anyone to like give an anime like that kind of attention. And
Well, it was weird because like I was trying to figure out what to do for Halloween,
Mhm.
and I was like, what would be a good horror anime to do? And Paranoia Agent was always something that I really enjoyed. And I don't know if I'd necessarily call it a horror anime, but it's definitely freaky.
yeah,
And I thought, oh man, that'd be a cool one because the opening is kind of it's a trip.
mm-hmm. Oh,
And I was like,
definitely.
no one's done an English cover of this, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could be the first. And then it did like okay, and then Funimation licensed Paranoia Agent, and then it turned up on Toonami, and then people just started watching it all of a sudden.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, people see my cover now, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
it was
Yeah,
great. I thought it was like excellent, honestly.
I'm
I
so
did-
mad
yeah,
Funimation
but I've
has,
heard
like-
I've heard good things.
I'm watching at the moment. I'm 3 episodes in. I want to say like the intro is easily one of the most different and like out there like anime intros I've ever seen.
There's actually
It's so-
there's a story behind that. So
right
Par-
there is.
Paranoia Agent got like an extremely late slot on TV when it aired. It was like 2 a.m. or something ridiculous like that. So the idea that Colin and composer, I can't pronounce his name, but it's the composer that did the Berserk anime. He's fantastic. He works with Colin a lot, or worked, I mean, and so they had this idea of like, okay, our intro should be something really like loud, catches you off guard, so it'll kind of wake you up. But then
Right.
the ending song will be like, okay, now you watch this, you want to go to sleep, so it's more like soothing.
Oh
and
yeah, I
low-key.
noticed that.
Yep,
Yeah.
right.
So it's
Which is which is a unique way to go about it.
Like
Yeah,
I'm only
and-
3 episodes in Paranoid Agent, and like I don't know where anything's gonna go. Like,
okay.
because you know, like
yeah.
it's just the brilliance of what I like about it so far. Like,
Yeah, so when I first saw Paranoia Agent, this was years ago when I was first getting into Cone. So like, this is around when Paprika came out, and
Right.
I was really thrown off guard by it because of that. Like it kind of sets up this idea, this premise, and then Clayton, you're actually 1 episode away from like where the plot really like changes. So
oh boy.
yeah, and
Yeah, I'm still getting introduced to like all the characters.
yeah, so it's don't let anything deceive you. It is an episodic series. At for the most part at least. And the plot just jumps around from character to character. The tonal whiplash is real, but it all just comes together so beautifully by the end. So
Like episodes like 1 is obviously about the main girl. The second one's about those children. The third one's about the tutor.
Yeah, the
Right.
woman, yeah.
It's like all three were so drastically different in tone and like writing. Like I don't like picking a favorite so far. It's like really hard because every episode stands out on its own unique way.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
normally I have a lot of issue getting into episodic series because I was like it's harder to binge, I guess. Like
yeah, I understand that.
I get that.
Like how I binge. What did I binge recently? Shoot, I binge Trigun. Yeah, Trigun's an example. I binged Trigun over the break recently, and I really like it. It's just it was really hard to binge at times because there wasn't really that much plot going on, especially the first half of the series, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I kind of used the wrong word for Paranoia Agent. Not necessarily episodic. It's more like an anthology.
Yeah, it's more like
for the most part.
There's an
underlying story, but then like for the most part, each episode is like there's a beginning and there's an ending, and then the next one is like a different character.
Episodic is like episodic implies like it's the same.
It's the same. Yeah. I apologize for using that.
Yeah, like Cowboy Bebop. I like Cowboy Bebop. I have a lot of trouble like binging it all. Like I think it's great. It's great. Yeah, you could say that, but like or Samurai Champloo. Yeah, it is.
Samurai Champloo is awesome.
Yeah, I love Champloo. No, I consider Champloo to be one of my favorites of all time.
Personally, I'm a Dandy guy though.
Oh, base.
Yeah, me too.
Actually,
yeah. This is like my hot take. I think out of the these my favorite, and I think that Samurai Champloo. I just can't get into it.
Really?
I just can't get into it.
I get that. I get that.
I feel like Samurai Champloo is more your style, Ardo. Just let's kind of like low ground hip hop.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just like Space Jam is just my favorite anime.
It's definitely Champloo is definitely more story heavy, I think, than Bebop or Dandy. So
Champloo, my favorite episode's the one with Jin, where he meets the woman in the
excuse me, the best episode is the baseball episode.
You're right. Okay, the most emotional episode, I should say, is the one where Jin falls in love, and it really breaks.
Yeah.
It really breaks it.
I don't want to talk about Paranoia Agent for too long because I could like for an entire episode.
I know,
it's just masterful and Colin just like the genius that he is. But there's a specific episode of Paranoia Agent I'm excited for you to get to. Like I think it might be like one of the greatest episodes like in TV history, and it's the one where and you'll know this, Goatee. It's the one where it's the animation studio that they're trying to make the anime for the Mamori doll character.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it is twisted.
So good.
I do really like the idea, like, of the Shonen Bat. You know, he hits them, and like these characters seem to have like change or be set free, like it is. Yeah. And I really like how the main character, I forgot what her name is, Tsukiko, something like that.
Quote unquote main character, yeah.
Yeah, the first girl. She's her doll like begins talking, and it's like just like
obvious like Hello Kitty parody, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, like you can obviously tell, yeah, this is all their mind and all that, and it's like it's really interesting.
Well,
it's gonna be a whole lot more when you finish.
Yeah.
When you finish, it's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah, just keep watching. That's why.
I think what makes I actually was thinking about this yesterday. I think what makes three things that make a series a masterpiece is like how well your world is built up, how well like the ideas that it sets forth, how well it succeeds at that. I think just good characters and of course writing. But I think the one thing that makes like something go from a 9 to 10 to me, because I'll use Fire Punch as an example. When I finished Fire Punch, I was like, I get a solid 9. But now that I like look back months ago and think about it, like I still think that highly of it, and I think that's really what makes like a masterpiece.
Lasting impression. Yeah,
it's like I'm not gonna give something a 10 out of 10 like off the gate, but if it's like in like 5 months, it'd be like, you know what, that still sticks with me, and like I still think about that. I would consider that to be like top tier.
Yeah.
Right.
What was for I'm curious about Mr. Goatee. What was kind of like your awakening anime?
My awakening anime. So do you mean like something that
kind of like made you kind of realize? Yeah, exactly.
Anime is awesome.
So there was a first anime, and then there was an
The
awakening.
anime.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we all had like I'm talking first on like first anime I got into when I was starting to watch anime, not like
Yeah.
Sailor Moon or like
Okay.
Pokemon or
Yeah, there's like the first anime, and then there's like the anime.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I use the word like awakening.
right. Well, I had a friend that I had worked with who really wanted me to start watching anime. And at the time, I was kind of like, I don't think it will interest me. And I was like, eh. And then he said, just give one show a watch for me. And this isn't my awakening. This is the first one that I started watching.
Mhm.
It was a show called Needless,
Okay.
which is like this. How do I describe it? It's like junk food, essentially.
Yeah.
A lot of big boobs, a lot of like fighting, that kind of thing. I was like, this is kind of fun. And then I came across a show called Clannad. And then I started to watch that. And I got through that and After Story, and it was After Story that got me into anime.
Mm.
Because watching Clannad, I'm a big drama buff. I like romance. I'm a softie. It's just kind of how I am. You can ask my wife. So when I watched that and got through After Story, it kind of changed me.
Mhm.
And it made me want to continue to find stuff that did that to me.
Yeah,
That gave me that feeling.
Yeah, I totally understand because like I think what makes anime so special, people forget anime is like a medium. It's not just like a genre. And
Right.
the people are all, I hear people like, "Oh, I don't like anime." And it's just like such a broad thing to say.
That's
Yeah.
such a silly thing to
There's
say.
so
It's-
many different types, that appeal to
So
different
much.
people. I mean, like all of us here were really into shonen, but
Right.
there's so many different kinds like that. I just want to say if you like kind of hard-hitting drama anime, one that I highly recommend is Kids on the Slope, if you've seen that.
Watched it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that's a great one.
I've watched so much because I've been watching since 2010, and I think on my anime list, if I were to update it, they like took away my login because it was an old email account. But if I were to update it, it'd be around like 550,
Oh, wow.
560 of stuff I've completed.
Wow.
So it's like I've been looking for shit like that, and Kids on the Slope is great.
Yeah.
And I'm a musician, so that was like right
Yeah.
in my alley.
Perfect.
Jazz musician too.
How do you like get into music? Did that come like before, I assume, you got into anime?
Oh yeah, for sure. I had been playing piano since I was like 7.
Okay.
And piano was always my main instrument. And I started singing when I was like 18. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And got into choirs, went to college for singing. And then like 2012, 2013, I got in like a fight with one of the staff members. Because I had my own vocal group and they didn't like that. They wanted me to focus on their school group.
Mhm.
And
Backstory.
oh yeah, we just
lore.
Lord
I
dump.
bitched her out. Like
Flashback.
well, no, I know it's real, man. Like it was this barbershop quartet, and my teacher came in during practice, bitched us out, told us that we needed to practice for choir, and we were just all pissed. And I had enough. I emailed her this big, just long list of grievances, and I went to bed. And in the morning, I wake up. And I get an email from her and 5 of the top staff members in the music department.
Wow.
Had forwarded my email to every single one of the staff members, and they all knew what I said. So then they kicked me
Wow.
out of the music department. And
Let
so
boys be boys. Let men be
Yeah,
men.
man, come on, just let him be.
Dude, like, why
So
would
was
you
it?
get mad at a barbershop? That actually makes me so angry.
barbershop was fun because you get to harmonize with each other.
Yeah.
Just wanna do it in the stairwell and just hit some harmonies, and
Women
people
will
just
never
stairwell
understand barbershop.
But yeah, that's how I got into music. And then I went to college for it, and then I kind of actually dropped it in like 2013. I didn't sing for a good 4 or 5 years. And then, if funny enough, Cuphead came out, and there was that song in there, the Die House song, the King Dice theme.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember hearing it and just being like, kind of want to sing that song. So just in a day, I just made the instrumental and I sang it and I put it up on YouTube just for, shits and giggles. And I got like 20,000 views. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I could sing a little more. And then I just started singing different songs. And then it got to a point where I was like, I had always wanted to do anime covers. I never thought I could. And I was starting to get to the point where people were starting to watch my channel. I'm like, oh, maybe I can do it now. And so I did.
And you
So
did it. Yeah.
anime covers. That's always what I wanted to do because I'm a fucking weeb, man.
How I discovered you was we were looking on we were just one night we were all in Discord. It was like early on during this quarantine. We were like, you know what? Let's look at like some anime covers, like English covers, like the Dr. Stone ending. We're like, okay, and we saw you, and we're like, oh, look at this guy. I wonder. If
I know.
And we clicked on it, and we were literally like, our jaws were dropped. We were like, yo, what? And we started clicking on video after video, and we're like, dude, this guy's like
the fucking range on this guy.
Because we heard you do the Doro, like you hit that high note. You hit the high note in Good Morning World.
Yeah.
Like gosh, dude. We were so impressed.
It's so funny because I love hearing the reaction people have to my thumbnails because like for real, I knew that would be the case. I think people think that I do it on purpose or like I want to be a meme, but it was just because I always wanted to do like blues covers at the beginning. And do like jazzier stuff, and I was like, okay, what would good look be? I guess I could get a trilby, so I got a trilby, and then I got shades, and then it kind of evolved, and I started to realize, oh, people don't like that hat very much.
Thank you for calling it a trilby and not a fedora.
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's smaller. It's a fedora is more like a cowboy hat almost. Yeah. And this is like it's a shorter hat, so it's not necessarily a fedora, but people are just going to call it a fedora, so that's what it is.
The big question though is, are you wearing the trophy and sunglasses right now?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Gets me into character, man.
You can't actually take those off.
No, it's stuck to my face. I came out of the womb like that.
Came out of the womb with
no, what he has to do, he's like one of those like Figmas. He has to like take off his whole head and put on a completely new head.
No, dude, it's like Jotaro, the fucking trilogy part of
it. I personally like just like because like you've done like the Mob Psycho 100 opening, Fighting Gold, the Paranoia Agent.
You did like, Beastars. Beastars.
Oh, your Beastars
was really good.
Easy breezy.
That one was fun.
And like even like holding out for a hero from Shrek 2. It's just like,
oh man, that was a while ago, dude.
That's really good.
I still get comments on that one, which is funny. I don't know how people still watch that, but
Shrek
like
is huge, man. Shrek's
massive.
It still gets like some of the most views on my channel for some reason.
I got into this thing on Steam called Desktop Wallpaper, where you can just like have animated backgrounds.
Engine?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Wallpaper Engine. And someone uploaded the entirety of the Shrek movie on there as a wallpaper. So like I'm just recording this podcast and then just watching Shrek at the same time. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
It's one of those movies that like I've seen so many times. I actually have it fully memorized. And like sometimes when I was younger and I'm in bed and I kind of like having a hard time going to sleep, I'll just like close my eyes and then just like watch Shrek in my head.
Next level shit.
Oh man, that's
ascended. I do have a question. What is like your writing process on like lyrics for your videos? Like, do you just literally like get the literal translation and change it up a bit? Do you like?
So for lyrics, usually what I do, I have to find a translation. Obviously, I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah.
But I get a translator. I get the lyrics all translated. And what I like to do, some people just like to write lyrics and try to make it into a song with no rhyme or reason or no loyalty to the song. Or they try to be too faithful.
I feel like a lot of like YouTubers who do anime covers do that. Like,
yeah, it's one or the other.
I don't want to name any names. I don't want to name any names. I don't want to name any names.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with the too faithful part because that's a really big problem even now, like in the like American localization community. There's a certain anime that I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna like provoke shit, but there's a certain anime that's like one of my all-time favorites that recently just got put on streaming for the first time, but they have these new translated subtitles that just like, again, they're too faithful, they stick too literal, and they don't accommodate for the difference in like inflection that certain words and phrases have in like a Japanese setting and like language versus like a more global one. And
I get absolutely.
And I also hate the opposite.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those two. They just
Like
there needs to be like a middle ground, especially for music, because
Yeah,
Oh,
because
for
this is
music
a weird.
is like, yeah.
This is a weird example, but one of my favorite songs of all time is Dragosta Dinte by Ozone, and so Numa Numa, whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like the English version of that song because the lyrics aren't like literal translations, and then you show them the literal translations, and they're like, well, that doesn't fucking fit.
Yeah, right.
So it's like they're and it's the same for just translating like an anime or something because
Right.
Funimation really likes to like change things up, especially.
people
Like-
don't talk the same way all around the world. They use different terms. The sentences are different lengths, for example.
Right.
They got to make sure the words fit the mouth flaps.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Like a recent example I have of like subtitles that they did. There was a in Kaguya-sama, like a recent episode, there was a whole they added social distancing to the subtitles. That was not original. And I'm like, what is the actual point of this? Isn't this supposed to be like getaway?
Yeah, it dated it instantly.
I know.
Yeah.
Like
When I read that, I was like,
it's
why
supposed to
would
get
you
away,
like-
this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
if you watch Kaguya-sama, you probably don't have to worry about being around other people anyways.
I mean, like the classic example is like Pokemon Jelly Donuts or like anything from Four
Yeah, just
Kids
Oh, yeah.
One Piece.
All right,
I
let's be
think-
real though. The pirate rap is
Asia.
actually fire.
Yeah.
Hey,
oh,
I
and
love the pirate rap.
especially your cover of the pirate rap. Like
I want to do a redo of that.
I
'Cause
was,
I feel like I could do it a little better.
I was not expecting
Dude.
it. Like
We always talk about what we want you to do. We're like, oh, I hope that Goatee does a cover of like the Made in Abyss theme or like Inuyashiki or
Space
something.
Dandy.
Yeah, Space Dandy.
Is my Inuyashiki not public anymore? Maybe it's because I was going to redo
Did
it.
you do one?
I did do one, but it was literally the first anime cover I ever did on my channel. So I'd like to do it again.
The one that Arda always tells me he wants you to do is JoJo's Chase.
Oh, say that again. You cut out
Chase
for
from,
me. a little.
Chase from part 4.
JoJo. JoJo Part 4. 'Cause,
Okay.
I mean, like personally, I'm not a big fan of Chase, but that actually makes me like more excited to see like a cover and like a different lyrics because I think
See,
like
that's the one that's
Also,
Oh yeah, no, I see your
that's the one
video.
I hadn't really thought to do because I've only ever done one JoJo cover, and
Yeah.
what's weird is when you search my name on Google, and I didn't realize this, is like the first drop down search is Mr. Goatee Wildside, and then right under that is Mr. Goatee JoJo. I've only ever done one, so clearly they want me to do JoJo cover.
Shit,
yeah,
you did a
JoJo's
Yeah.
huge.
Oh yeah,
I think
Depot. That's awesome.
and
I think what do you call it? What was I gonna say? For JoJo covers, it's a bit easier too because like some of the newer openings have like official English versions too.
yeah, and see
Yeah,
that's
like
the thing. I would definitely
Fighting
do my
Gold.
own lyrics.
Yeah.
I did do the official for Fighting Gold, but that was also before I really started to work on my own lyrics,
Mhm.
and now I'm a little more confident in them.
Well, yeah, and it's funny, like there is actually an official English like cover of Fighting Gold, but it's honestly I like yours more because I mean that English one that was done by the original I believe it's Coda, right?
Coda. Yeah, it was
Coda.
Coda.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
was actually probably harder to understand than the original Japanese version.
Yeah, dude, I was listening to the JoJo songs on Spotify, and I put that one on thinking it was the Japanese one. And when Coda just started speaking, I was like, "Wait, what?" I just had to play the Japanese one because I felt like I understood that one better.
Also, like
Yeah.
praise Spotify and Warner Media. Thank you for putting the JoJo soundtracks on Spotify. Thank you.
I need
so
to
much.
listen to the anthology. I've heard a
I
little
was
bit of the anthology soundtrack. It's so good so
I
far.
was listening to Chase on the way home, and honestly, yeah,
You guys are the only Chase fans I've ever seen.
because
Yeah.
Chase is good. People
my
hate
favorite.
it for no reason.
I don't know what my favorite JoJo opening is. I like
Oh, End
I
of the
like them
World.
all.
End of the World, hands
Endor's
down.
good.
Okay.
I like,
Doing
I
Into
like
the World with a friend.
Okay, I'm gonna give you
Yes.
guys. I just drop you guys the hottest take. Okay. I think my hottest take is that my favorite JoJo opening, not counting Voodoo Kingdom from the movie, but my favorite JoJo opening is the English version of Trader's Requiem.
Really, I love the
Oh.
Japanese version.
Yeah.
That's one's my favorite.
Trader's Requiem is a very underrated one, also, I think.
Like part 5 is just music is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. 'cause
Yeah.
I work at a I worked at a high school in 9th grade, and I remember like some kids were blasting Giorno's theme, and that was just so surreal. Like I hear that piano, and I just immediately the first like 2
Oh
notes,
no.
I was like, wait, and I rush over to the Chromebook, and sure enough, I see Giorno's
I
face.
I can't hold my excitement for part 6 because what I want for part 6, I want like a more like I want a female oriented cast for like the music because it's
That'd be interesting.
yeah, I want that. I want it to be more. I don't know if I want jazzy. I want more punk. I want a punk centered kind of like Jolene to like cover her.
Yeah.
And then for 7, go back to like a more Western take, and then part 8, go for more of that part 4 kind of funky feel. You know?
I want a tropical type of feel for part 8.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. No, I'm excited for a part 6 anime for just like so many reasons. I mean, part 6 is like just extremely overhated, underrated parts. There's moments in part 6 that will like go down in history as like some of the greatest ever if animated. And and honestly, like I just kind of hope that it scares off a lot of like fake JoJo fans.
I hate the JoJo fan base. It
does a cleansing.
The part 6 anime is gonna separate the boys from the men in terms of anime.
and the girls from the women.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready? We're going balls deep.
Now,
that's okay. For those of you that do not know, that is a translated line from All Star Battle that Jolene says.
Yeah. I don't know, Mr. Goatee. I don't know if you've read JoJo or not. Or I would recommend it. I would heavily recommend 6, 7, and 8. Now that you know.
Oh yeah.
I think we all agree that like most of us agree that 6, 7, and 8 are the best parts of JoJo.
Absolutely. 6 is a little hard to get into, only because I recommend you do Feng Shui research before it's
there's a fight in Stone Ocean that is entirely dependent on like having knowledge of Feng Shui. there's like infographics and shit in that chapter trying to explain all these concepts.
And you
it's wild.
But I want to say like part 7 and 8 are possibly some of the greatest stories.
Storytelling, yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
I mean,
we read
let's save the JoJo talk for next week because there's a new JoJolian chapter. We haven't even touched this week's readings.
I know.
There's some pretty big ones, so let's just jump right into
jump right into it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
How many times have we made that joke? Wait, what was that?
Okay, real quick before we start, just one more thing.
Okay.
Mr. Goatee, I don't know if you know this, but there's another musician among us in this room. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but our good friend and co-host Eric has dabbled in covering anime.
Oh no! You said you wouldn't bring this up. You fucker.
Wait, did I say that?
Oh, now you gotta.
No.
So what it is? He did.
No. Let me say it. Okay. I have. Oh my god, this was years ago.
I gotta mute myself for this.
Okay, so I as a joke, mind you. In high school, I said I would start doing anime covers on my YouTube channel. So I started with Trigun's anime opening. If you know Trigun's anime opening, the only lyrics in it is just people screaming, yeah.
Yeah.
At the beginning and at the end. So the video is just me going, oh, and then silence for like a minute and a half, and then oh at the end.
Eric, can you please do a Cowboy Bebop one as a sequel? 3, 2,
you know what?
1,
I'll do it right now. I think it's time we blow this scene, get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Yo, he did it.
No, you interrupted it. You interrupted it. I was still doing the cover. I had about a minute and 25 seconds left. No, it's actually kind of similar. Not to derail everything, but it's kind of similar to this song called 433, which I'm sure you know, Mr. Goatee.
Of course. That's Cage. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just nothing.
Awesome.
It's not that it's nothing. It's that the music is like
it's a rest note.
Yeah, you actually have to turn the pages. Like you have to read it like actual music.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the music of like the venue. It's the music of like the crowd in their seats.
Yep.
It's as minuscule as it
Yeah.
is. It is legit music in a way. But
Mhm.
but yeah. So are we just gonna go through the new chapters like in alphabetical order, or is there a priority that we want to do?
Do you want to do the new
Because
series now?
Okay, yeah, let's do that now because I have
Okay.
some huge things to say because Promised Neverland has finally ended.
Oh,
You
Chapter
You know,
Bandit off.
chapter
Oh.
181. It is-
oh,
okay, you want to just start with that because that's like
Oh
the big
god.
one.
Okay. Has anyone else here finished Promised Neverland?
I
I
skimmed
I
the
have.
last
I don't
chapter.
think I'm
Oh.
gonna.
Okay. Oh, this
I
is
have.
exciting. Okay, so I just want to know what are your thoughts about like this final arc, and what are your thoughts like overall?
So like by final arc, you mean like the last 2 chapters? They decided to like fucking just decide to add a new part to the story with 2 chapters left.
Yeah.
That okay? Well, it. I tweeted about it too because I'm like, I feel like I thought it felt like they were trying to drag it on,
Yeah.
but then I think it was Arda was like, no, there's 2 weeks left. I'm thinking, 2 weeks left, and they just put that on us, so it made no sense. And then the way that it ended, it just felt like they were trying to shoe in a darker, more depressing but happy ending, like a bittersweet ending, when there really was no real need for it.
Yeah, I mean
And-
it's such a shame because this first arc, the escape from the farm, is just like incredible stuff.
Incredible,
And
incredible.
yeah, absolutely. The anime as well is very well done. And then you have Goldie Pawn also, which is very good.
I love Goldie Pond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ever since then, it was just like this series kind of like. Are you familiar with the term Talk no Jutsu?
No, I'm not.
It's the most powerful martial art. It is more powerful than Hokuto Kenshin. It is more powerful than Luffy Gear Force Snake Man. Talk no Jutsu is the ability to talk your way out of any conflict. And that is exactly what Emma does.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want to kill the demons.
No, but it's super
Like
bad.
that
in the
Bojack.
last
It's
half.
like that one Bojack. No, you can't do that. No.
Yeah.
In the last half, I was just thinking, like, I was starting to get pissed at her.
Yeah.
At the point where I'm just kind of like, oh my god. And then it dragged on the entire conflict. It turned into a military anime.
Yeah.
And then, which just wasn't why I got into it. It was a suspense
Yeah.
thriller. And the Isabella was such a compelling villain.
Mm.
And you don't see her till the end where they decide, oh, it would be funny to bring her back. And I don't want to say anything else because
Oh,
No, it's-
we don't care about spoilers.
oh, okay, well then fucking kill her. They
Yeah.
literally brought her just to kill her, which I'm
And-
thinking, what?
The funny thing is they kill her, then one chapter later, in like the same setting, like they just forget about her, and they're like, "Oh, we're
Yep.
so happy we get to go to the human world," and
Right.
and it's just like, oh my god. Then they
It's
end
not,
up
like there's a decomposing corpse in the same room as you guys right now.
they end up going to the human world, and they end up in America, which like they might as well have stayed in the demon world in that case.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's just like you have this new conflict of I don't even want to call it conflict of Emma being an amnesiac that just like in the chapter last week it's like, oh, I have these dreams of my past life, oh, but they don't matter anymore, I'm happy. And then with this chapter they're like, we have to find her, and there's suddenly a 2-year time skip. And
Yeah,
it's like,
and we're
what?
supposed to think that matters. Like it happened over 2 chapters, and that was
Yeah.
supposed to be a touching moment. But I'm thinking this happened so quick. I have no sympathy for it.
The
There's
premise.
no
The
emotion.
premise never lands.
Yeah, the premise never
Yeah,
lands.
never.
And it's then Emma just so happens to find all of them, and it's up to
People.
Norman. It's up to Norman to be like, you know what? And I do like what he says. He says like, it doesn't matter if she doesn't know who she is. She's alive. She's happy, and we're all happy. But then his talk devolves into just a horrible way to wrap up every loose thread and plot point. Where he's like,
True.
oh yeah, this kid, he finally woke up from his coma. And remember those test tube babies that got zapped to the real world? Well, we found a way for them to survive outside of their tubes. Which, yes, they
How?
actually... We don't know.
Yep.
He just says it.
He just says it.
Okay, I pulled it up here. He says, Using medicine, the children from the mass production farms don't need the help of respiratory systems and can even walk on their own. And then that's it.
Oh, medicine,
What the
great.
fuck kind of medicine is that?
I guess some just medicine.
Freaking like is that like the all healing freaking miracle thing that Chopper wants in One Piece or something? Because like, give me some of that.
They actually
Dude, that's like cure to Corona.
they do talk about, because remember how like a few chapters ago they were like, wait, what about your illness? And then it's like, oh, we'll address that later. So they address it. They say new medicine was developed thanks to the technology in this world and Adam's special DNA to suppress our side effects. We're all by the way,
That's
yeah,
dumb.
it's like,
That's fucking
That's
dumb.
convenient.
and they're like, oh, by the way, we're all going to school now. We're all happy. The Ratry clan, even though we think they might be a little shady, but they're helping us, so we don't mind. And
Actual sequel bait right there.
yeah, it's terrible. And it's just like, oh yeah, we're all getting along and we're all happy. And then Emma starts crying and she's like, you know, I feel like I've known you, but I don't anymore. And you know what? Even if I don't know who you are, let's all live together. And then that's the end.
Just horrible.
And then the video game comes out sometime.
Uh,
They're making a Promised Neverland video game.
Yep. They're
And
also
like,
they're doing a live action Amazon Prime series as well. Which
maybe that'll be better.
I'm excited for, because Goatee, I don't know what your thoughts are on live action anime adaptations, but like Arda and I especially are huge champions for them.
See, I haven't really watched a lot, so I wouldn't really be able to give a take.
So
But I've heard really good things about some of them.
yeah, I mean, obviously we're huge Alita fans. I think the Alita
Right.
movie is just like very well done.
Oh, I love
Um,
the Alita movie. Yeah.
Yeah. There's one that not a lot of people know about, has Japanese origin, and it's Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually interesting thing about that. I read, because it's originally called All You Need Is Kill.
Yes.
I read that first, and then I was like, oh, this is really good. I was like, oh, these guys did Death Note. All right, I'll check Death Note out. Then I binged all of Death Note in like a week. It was like amazing.
Oh,
I need to get.
we're doing a Death Note episode, don't worry, because I'm gonna
Yeah.
be on a friend's podcast talking about why the Death Note Netflix movie fucking rocks, because it does. And yeah,
What
it'll
part?
just be fresh in my mind. By the way, if you don't like the Death Note movie, the creators of Death Note enjoy it. So what does that tell you?
You're in the wrong side of history.
But yeah, Goatee, I'm just so grateful to have like a comrade here that also has like suffered through the last few parts of Promised Neverland, because
Well, it was just so disappointing, I guess. I think I wouldn't care if it was all bad. I think it's just
Yeah,
more
it's-
because that first half was so good.
yeah, I do think it's like, because I could be wrong, but as far as I know, I think this is the mangaka's first manga, at least like a serialized one, and
Oh,
it's just like there's a lot of great potential here. I love the art style. And obviously, the early story was just incredible. So
The artist is a different person.
oh, okay, I did not know that. But I mean that makes sense. Like, this is the best manga art is usually done by a separate person, like Dr. Stone, which is
Right.
just incredible. Boichi, the god. But yeah, like I feel like the people that worked in Promised Neverland, like now that this is over and it kind of maybe didn't go the way that they wanted to, or we wanted to, or Shonen Jump wanted to, I'm sure they'll go on to do bigger and greater things.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
rumors that the anime
yeah.
itself is going to do its own thing.
I heard that too, and I'm really excited to see where that goes.
I
Um,
hope so. I really do.
Yeah. I think I've said this story on the podcast before, but I went to Anime Expo and I wanted to go to the Jojo panel, but they weren't clearing the rooms, and it was in the largest room. Yeah, but it's a good story. It's relevant, and the Promised Neverland panel is right before that, so we.
Man, I wanted to go to that too, but we were late for it.
Oh, I could have. There was a chance I could have seen you.
Yeah, I was at Anime Expo.
Yeah, you were on-
Wow.
I was with
was-
friends.
I was cosplaying Ghiaccio from Vento Arreo, so if you saw a guy with curly blue hair dressed in white, that was me.
Oh, there was like 100,000 people there, man.
Yeah.
The freaking anime equivalent of the angry video game nerd.
Well, you see,
Hey, not to deviate, but how did you think? What did you think of the earthquakes?
oh God, okay, so I was in the I was in one of the hotels when a really big what happened. I was waiting for the Lupin the Third movie premiere to happen, and yeah, I just see like the walls shake, and I look outside, and there's those cranes, because they've been building shit on that street like forever, and to see those cranes sway was just like,
Oh, it's weird.
yeah.
Weird,
And
bro.
actually, I'm so sad that there's no Anime Expo this year, but it also means that the first time in like 7 years I will be free on the 4th of July.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Same here.
Hmm
So I've been
Oh,
going
my my work opens back up by that time.
Mhm.
I work in the movie theater, so but
for
things could change. I don't know. Things could still change, like delays and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
Right.
because yeah.
I wanted to finish the story, so we go to the Promised Neverland panel. It was actually like really bad. You didn't miss much because
That's sad.
all they talked about was the dub, and it's like I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
And
I don't care about a
and
dub.
but, not to say anything bad about like anyone that was working on the dub, but they had this really weird way of presenting it where it was like if you want to compare the dub and the sub, you would think okay, they'll play one scene in Japanese, next scene in English, right?
Yeah.
What they did is they played the first episode, but each scene would be a different language. So it would switch Japanese one scene, English the next. And it's just like it was so discombobulating. And it's
You
just
know,
and-
you want to know something funny though?
what's up?
Not to deviate, but just really quick.
Hmm.
Did you get to go to the Hero Academia season 4 premiere?
I got a ticket to that, but I ended up not going.
Oh, okay. I went to it. It was so funny because everyone was kind of holding their breath when it started. They were like, "Please be sub, please be sub, please be sub," and then it started talking in English, and the whole crowd just goes,
Oh,
"Oh,
I do not. Dude,
wow!
I'm so happy because I hate the My Hero dub so
That
much.
Oh,
is
bad.
hilarious.
It's like it,
the whole crowd groans."
now
Wow.
Eric here. Eric's not too big into My
I'm
Hero.
going
He's going
to start it.
He's going to
My girlfriend sent a picture of this like brown muscle rabbit waifu,
Mirko. It was Mirko.
and like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start this now.
But, I don't like the dub because it just all the voices don't fit these like 13-year-old kids. They all like
No.
sound like they're in their 20s.
That's not
most dubs.
as
Yep.
bad as the original Akira dub,
Oh,
where they all sound like 30-year-old chain smokers.
That's true.
but like, you know what? Should this just be our thing in the My Hero? Like, should we just go straight into My Hero? Another.
Wait, no, okay. I want one little last thing said about my story, and I know
Yeah.
if you've listened last week, you know the story, but still, I look around in the crowd because we're all like kind of fed up. I look and I just see like a
Uh-huh.
wave of JoJo cosplayers, and I just thought, yeah, I know why you're all here.
Golden Weed.
So this is when you talk about my hero.
Reddit theme song.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
this is the time that I mute.
all right. So, Mr. Goatee, are you caught up on the My Hero manga?
Funny enough, I'm reading it right now.
Oh,
I'm
where you at?
asking.
So,
I-
where would you say what arc?
I'm halfway through the latest chapter because I just realized I forgot to catch up.
Okay.
Oh heck yeah!
So, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the current arc, and then we'll like. So, of course, the current arc is the war. Like this war they've been setting up for quite a while. It's not even going to be the real war. This is more like
The
a
end-
mass. This is a
The
massacre.
end of the prologue, if you will.
The
Like-
end of the prologue.
We've already gotten like great development from Bakugo. Like Bakugo is my favorite character in My Hero.
Oh
by far. Actually, filtering character because people's like, no, he rails. He's annoying. No.
My hero is the most.
He's so bad to kill himself.
Let
No.
me say this real quick. I really don't like My Hero season 4. I was really disappointed when watching it.
Thank
thought-
you. Thank
I was
you.
because like I dropped it as soon as I saw the Miria fight.
I'm
I was
not
like,
gonna lie.
Oh, okay. Well, it's see that I get people why they did. I think the music
Like-
kind of pulled that scene a little better. Than
I
it should.
was watching it with my sister the other day. We're catching up, and I was so excited to see her reaction to Gentle. But then I don't
love Gentle.
I don't think the anime really did Gentle that much justice.
I
Here's
just don't
the
think
thing.
season 4 was that.
I
Here's
got
the-
sad.
Here's the thing with season 4. I think the overall arc they kind of did a disservice.
Yeah,
It
it's an
feels
amazing
like
arc in the manga.
And I was like, and the Gentle arc was fine, but man, that Endeavor fight at the end was fantastic.
Yeah, that was the peak.
That
Because
was
my issue was I actually didn't know they would do the Endeavor fight. I honestly wasn't expecting them to. But
I didn't
my
think
issue
so. I thought they were doing
my
it next-
issue was I didn't like how the pacing was the entire season.
Yeah,
I thought the pacing
Yeah.
was slow.
It was-
they
it was
they
whack.
began it with a filler episode of all things.
yeah.
This obviously shows that they were working on the movie at the same time as the season, which they shouldn't
Right.
be doing.
Yeah, I agree.
I was watching it. I was like, you know what? It's okay so far. The Kirishima stuff was awesome.
Yeah.
And then they get to Overhaul, and I was like, this is so disappointing from like the manga. The only scene I do like the scene where Deku's getting ready to punch him, and then all the fist in the sky like
Yeah, that was really
I was like,
fucking cool.
I was pogging at that point, but like the damage had been done with my favorite fight in the series, which is Powerless Miria versus Overhaul. Like
A montage.
like yeah, it was a slideshow. It was just a bunch of still images.
It was a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
If I don't fucking like start screaming and break my desk while watching the villain arc in the next season, I don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't
dude,
want it. I don't want
the
it.
villains arc. I'm gonna make the biggest hot take. The villains arc is the best Shonen Jump arc of the last 5 years.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't. One Piece was like in Dressrosa run.
I'm telling you something right now about the villains arc. It's my favorite arc in the My Hero manga.
Yeah, I think the
Yes,
villains are way cooler than the heroes.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and you know
I
what they
totally
say?
agree.
Dude, I
A hero
sympathize
is
with
only as good
Shiraki
as
more
villain.
than freaking anyone else. I think Shiraki's like more in the right than freaking like Deku in them is. Dude, Stain
Dude.
did nothing wrong. Stain actually did nothing wrong.
That's why they're such compelling villains.
Dude, I don't care if the joint training arc is like animated with fucking stick figures. If they do Shigaraki's like awakening and like his new
Oh my
like
God.
decaying quirk, if they animate that shit properly, I don't care if the rest of it is fucking stick figures.
I know, for
Like,
real. No.
I remember when the joint training art was going on, I was really mad because I didn't like how they were handling like, oh, all for one, multiple quirks. But then, I recently went through it and I was like, you know what? A lot of this does make a lot of sense, and a lot of this was teased, and I shouldn't have been as mad as I was. Maybe I was just following like the hate train for My Hero because popular series gets a lot of hate because it's
The
popular.
My Hero hate train is the most like fucking stupid brain.
It and Black Clover, dude. It and Black Clover. They get too much hate. Black Clover is an amazing series that deserves way more than it.
Yeah,
I really want to get into the manga. I really do because I hear really good things.
Oh yeah, it's solid.
Dude,
But like,
okay,
oh,
at least like people have like reasons for disliking My Hero. They're not good reasons, but they're reasons. But for Black Clover, it's just, oh, he screams. It's like, yeah, so does like everyone. So does Naruto.
the point of his character is he's annoying.
does
and he has to
Goku.
develop from that. It's not like your character's gonna have a dramatic like shift 10 chapters in this long series. Because like Black Clover is gonna go as long as Naruto. That's the plan.
That's the plan. Yeah.
But this guy's got horrible health issues at the moment, so I feel really bad. He's taking a break off. He took this week off, thank God. So, but anyways, back on the current My Hero chapter. This arc has been getting more and more tense by the chapter.
Yeah.
Like,
Talk
Mr.
about
Goatee, finished
really
the
good scans
chapter.
in this chapter.
Mr. Goatee finished the chapter.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
That spread when Shigaraki's breaking into the radio waves or whatever is so terrifying. And the scene where he reaches his hand out and everyone starts decaying for a second was so scary. Like Shigaraki's such a terrifying villain, and the way this chapter ends is not looking good for Eraserhead.
Yeah.
No.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die.
Fucking die. Yeah.
And I'm gonna be really sad because Aizawa's one of my favorite characters in the whole series.
As far as the heroes go, he's definitely one.
Yeah, him, All Might. I like Endeavor a lot. I do like Endeavor.
I really like Endeavor.
Yeah, no, he's reviews.
They already fucking killed off one of my favorite characters a few chapters ago, and I'm still mad.
Oh, twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just-
actually, screw Hugs.
I legitimately felt devastated when that happened. I was like,
Dude,
oh,
Twice did nothing wrong.
it hurt.
Absolutely, dude. No, these
I hope-
what this
I
show,
hope
it's
I hope
weird that with everything that's going on in the world right now and My Hero's going on, I see a lot of similarities and it's weird. It's just weird. I don't want to get into it, but I assume you know where I'm getting at.
Yeah. No, I totally understand because in my server we're rewatching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, that.
And it's
Oh
the
my
same shit because we're watching. I'm thinking, man, this is hitting the
I was
little.
telling Arda the other day. I was telling Arda the other day. It's like, dude, people white girls would be like, "Oh, you're living in Harry Potter." No, we're literally living in Fullmetal Alchemist right now.
Yeah.
It feels like it's weird to watch it again because I'm like, man, this kind of feels a little too close to home.
And honestly, I used to think Fullmetal Alchemist was a bit overrated in my opinion. I thought it was
No, hold on. Let me continue. I thought it was really good. It was like, it's a bit overrated. But now, recently, with everything going on and all, like, I was literally thinking of Carton, like, Fullmetal Alchemist was like so ahead of its time. Like, it's like, it's the equivalent of like
Actually
Hideo Kojima.
timeless.
It's the equivalent of Hideo Kojima predicting everything in Metal Gear
Oh
Solid 2.
yeah, and like rewatching it, you kind of forget how well written that show actually is,
Oh my
because
God.
like
I,
it never from like the first couple episodes, they're a little slow,
Yeah.
but from there it just kind of never stops.
I think what makes Fullmetal Alchemist so fucking incredible is it sets up all of these things and it closes off every single one of the
And
loose
then-
ends
Every
by
And
the
then
end,
these are open for-
and it goes full circle.
Yep.
Yeah, so they fucking completely solve every plot point, every like character arc that they introduced, and on top of that, they hit you with that. Yeah, there's still more to this world that we could explore if we wanted to.
And that's what
Yeah,
makes,
that's
what
the
makes me
best
so
part.
happy.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're just talking about Full Metal right now. Here, I'm gonna use the
Yeah,
bathroom.
I have a question about Full Metal. So I watched Brotherhood like years ago. It was one of the first anime I ever watched. Loved it. I'm wondering though, like, how's the anime? I mean, the manga compared to the anime.
You're
The
gonna have to
anime.
ask,
Here's the thing.
you're gonna have to ask
As
us.
someone who's watched both, the original does the first like half of the manga better than Brotherhood, I would say, because I think Brotherhood was just kind of trying to catch up.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get to Briggs, it like the anime is the manga. Like at that point, it's just almost 1-to-1,
Okay.
and
Okay.
they do it justice. But before that, I think it's a little rushed, like everything with Maze Hughes and everything with like Nina. That's a little
But
rushed.
That's understandable.
Brotherhood like is made with the idea that you've seen the 2003
Yes.
series.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. But the
Okay.
last half is made as if you didn't, because
Okay.
then they caught up to the manga, and now
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, speaking of that, I guess we could mention real quick that Shaman King, new anime.
Yeah.
I wonder what-
Before
And
we
it's
get
getting
to
the
that,
Brotherhood
Mr. Goatee, I need to ask you this.
Yeah.
What is the best Full Metal Alchemist opening, and why is it Melissa from the original series?
Hey, you've been giving all these hot takes. You want to know my hot take?
Is it
Alright.
Golden
Yeah.
Time Lover?
I hate Melissa.
Hmm.
You just hear like screens breaking.
it's
I were- if I were
probably
to-
my least favorite, I would say. If I had to pick the best one, are you talking objectively or are you talking my favorite?
Both.
Okay. Okay, so objectively, it's again. I mean, you can't really, as far as an opening goes, it's nearly perfect. Down to the visuals, down to the way it sets up the story, down to the music. Everything it does, I think, is nearly perfect. I don't think it's my favorite though. I think it's a toss up between Golden Time Lover,
Yeah.
which I love,
Yeah.
and then funnier Ready Steady Go from the original series, if you know what that is.
Ready, steady, go.
Yes,
So,
that
I'm just,
that would be
I'm just-
probably one of my favorites.
I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like actually upset. I'm like actually really fucking mad.
I'm sorry.
No, the real question that turns men, like boys into men, is what is the best ending for Fullmetal Alchemist?
Ooh.
Mine's the I have a tie. Mine's the first one. And the what's the one where they're in the tunnel? What's the one
Yeah,
where
the
they're like
last ending.
in the tunnel?
Yeah, it's the last
Yeah.
ending.
That's it. That's the fourth one.
Yeah, that one. I love that one.
I like the
I-
second one. I like Let It All Out.
Yeah, this second one is really good, but
That's probably one of my. That's probably my favorite.
honestly, like, I still really love the first one.
First one's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that. I love the visuals. It just sets up like this
Yeah,
emotional.
the visuals are just so unique.
And they make you feel nostalgic for something you're just now starting.
Yes,
It's
that's
like-
that's
yeah,
how we
cool.
feel about One Piece. Yeah,
yeah.
so we all got into One Piece pretty recently, I think. And
Yeah.
and
I've
it's
been
That
really-
was
into it.
last year.
oh, okay. And it's just crazy, like how much I literally like 7 or 8 months ago, and I caught up like a few months ago, and it's just like I already feel like I have so much legacy and memories with this series, and that's what Fullmetal Alchemist that first ending does for me also.
You know
So-
what the ending reminds me of Fullmetal Alchemist? The second Dr. Stone ending.
Mid.
Yeah,
Kind
you're
of
right.
reminds me.
It's a good ending too.
Mhm.
I think they're both phenomenal. Dude, all the music in Dr. Stone's so good.
Now, speaking of Dr. Stone, oh, that new chapter.
Mr. Goatee's not caught up, so let's give
Oh,
a
no,
no.
do I gotta
I
deafen?
no, I just want to say this new chapter. Oh man, Boichi needs to calm the fuck down. Or don't calm down. Keep going. His
go harder.
There's no one that draws better pogs than Boichi.
Oh my
That,
god.
that just sums up this entire chapter. We can move on now.
Yeah. So where are you at in the where are you at in Dr. Stone at the moment?
I think I'm not very far. I think I'm 90, 91.
Oh,
okay.
that's at
That's
least past
the-
Stone Wars.
Yes.
So I'm like halfway, I think.
And what are your thoughts?
Oh, I love it. Love
Yeah, I think Dr. Stone is like something really special. I honestly we all think it has like potential to be kind of like the next One Piece for Shonen Jump.
I hope so. I really do.
I think it'll go on for another like 15 years, honestly.
It's just the premise is so open for just like taking its time and exploring this like crazy, world, and just like creating all this science again. And I think Dr. Stone can do like wonders for inspiring youth to like go into like science fields.
It's true because you got to think of how they did it. How anything was made to where we're at now. They had to be that ambitious, and I think that's what's cool about it. Is it's not. It can be a little unrealistic, but as far as the mindset goes and what they're trying to do, it really isn't.
Yeah,
Like they really go into detail on how they do it.
Like,
yeah, and the tagline of that Senku always says is "Get excited," and that's exactly what Dr. Stone does.
Right.
I was really into science. I was really into science and stuff as a kid, and as a kid, I thought I would end up being like Senku, but if it ended up being like Yo, I ended up being like Yo. So just reading Doctor Stone like makes me feel like a kid again, and it's like yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
I love like the shift in like Boichi's art style from this like all of these overly dramatic like art style to like these goofy little faces of these dweeby little teenagers going on a little quest to save the world.
Right.
It's so like it makes me happy. It just feels like there's a lot of soul put into this like series, a lot of passion. I just hope I hope it stays around. I honestly hope it goes longer than One Piece. I really do.
Ooh, that's a tall order. But if any series could go like that long, I think Dr. Stone is one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
For sure.
Like even some of these other series going on now, like I guess we'll just segue this in like Undead Unluck. Undead Unluck's like this.
Oh
think
my
that's
god.
We can't talk about the chapter because it's that massive.
Yeah.
Just
Hands
Undead
shot.
Unluck has
I'll definitely for this one if you want, and you can.
no, it's cool.
No,
it's cool.
no.
Undead Unluck, I'll just say, has some of the coolest world building
Yeah,
of any modern.
the world of Undead Unluck is just like so not what you expect it to be at first, and this new chapter just like emphasizes that so well.
Yeah.
It just
Anything can happen.
yeah,
That's
Like
really
every chapter, they just drop like a ton of information about the world on you without it being like like Hunter x Hunter, like Cocoa Puffs type of
I know, like literally one of the actual world buildings is like in the earlier chapters. Look at the sky. There are no stars in the sky. That will be explained in the most recent chapter.
yeah. Oh my god, it's
Oh
incredible.
wow.
And it's like so mind blowing. I'm like, I want to know like more about how this world came to be. I want to know like how these people came together.
I was
Oh.
on board. I was on board with this since chapter 1, but like if you told me that this would be like turned into like pants shitting like
I would not
I
have
wouldn't
believed you.
call it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Because I see it, I'm like, okay, it's about some
Alright.
little funny, haha. He just keeps molesting this girl or whatever. It's like, okay, that
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
it's
Yeah.
kind of funny, I guess. She's legal and she's fine with it, so you know what? It's cool for the most part. She's fine with it. I mean, you'll see. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just like if you told me like day one, like, oh yeah, Undead Unluck is gonna become like, I don't know what to compare it to. I can't think of another like series I can compare it to. I wouldn't nothing like My Hero, nothing like One Piece.
There's nothing. There's never
Yeah.
been
Nothing,
anything like
like-
Undead Unluck.
Yeah, that's what I think I like about it.
Yeah.
Like its art style is heavily influenced by like My Hero, I feel, or like One Piece. You know, it's,
Or even like Soul Eater. Just it's like really round.
yeah.
Which is like
and I-
that seems to be a new trend lately. Just really round art styles.
Bone Collection.
yeah.
Guardian of the Witch, Morrigan, yeah, all these other really round art styles.
Which actually, Bone Collection was pretty good this week.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised with it.
Yeah,
Dude,
'cause-
it fucking Bone Collection and Morrigan are finally getting good.
Yeah, like
I
9
don't know how they
chapters
did
in. It's honestly too late at this point.
7.
Bone Collection's only on chapter 7.
Oh, I think it might be too late for Mori King.
Let me see.
Morrigan's on 6.
Yeah, Morking's on.
Morking's
No,
on
no,
six.
no, no, Morking's on
Oh,
8.
okay. Oh,
One
okay.
chapter
Oh.
late. One chapter late,
Okay.
according to. But
But yeah.
it just shows you like there's so many surprises that you can have every week with a weekly series. Certain series can get a little mid for a bit, like how many of you are feeling about One Piece, but then next week it'll like rebound with.
Yeah, it'll
something
be good next
crazy.
week. Next week's gonna be a fight, probably. So
Yeah. But then it's the same, it's the other way also, where like something can be like, oh, I don't know where this is going, and then you just kind of get it. Like, that happened to us with Mashal. Like,
oh yeah, Mashal's first chapter is like not
Yeah, it's-
that. It's all right. It has some funny little gags in it, but it wasn't anything memorable.
It was
I-
really
'cause-
polarizing to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought it would be like, oh, it's just Mob Psycho or One Punch Man, just trying to be kind of like influenced. And then like chapter 2 happens, still kind of the same. And then chapter 3 happens when like he meets the Grandmaster, right? And the Grandmaster uses like his big spell, and you see this giant like amalgamation. Oh, fucking
The giant fucking thing, and just the art
Yeah.
suddenly improves, and you're like,
Right.
wait,
yeah, this guy's
is...
art has his art, it just improved like in one chapter, and it still gets better. Like his fight choreography is very Murata inspired. Like
Mhm.
the gags are actually really funny and just kind of parody a lot of shonen tropes at the moment. It's
Oh, yeah.
really nice to have like one of these series around now that like Gintama's gone. Like One Punch Man obviously makes fun of these tropes, but like
It also has like its own like thing
Yeah.
that it's accomplishing.
it doesn't take itself. Well, One Punch Man takes
It takes
more
itself
seriously.
seriously when it needs to. That's what I say about
Yeah.
One Punch Man.
Right.
I feel
One
like
Punch-
I feel like the only thing One Punch Man really like makes fun of is just how the main character is overpowered. I think everything else about One Punch
That's,
Man is
that's
like,
that's where One Punch Man's interest comes in, because people. I was talking to like this guy at my comic store. He's an older guy. He's like, I don't really see the enjoyment of One Punch Man why it goes so long, because he's overpowered. That joke gets old after a while. And it's like, that's not really the point of the series. Where it's more about how the world sees this kind of character.
It's that,
I
and it's
honestly-
also how he sees himself, because he is constantly expressing how kind of bored he's become because of this, and then like while he's doing all this amazing stuff, he keeps flying under the radar of like the Hero Association.
I honestly just don't understand how like people could even call One Punch Man a parody. Because it's really
I
not.
guess like its first season. I think it's the first season. It's the first season, honestly.
Even the first season, I never thought it was a parody. Maybe the first episode, but like
No, it's the first few. I'd say until like I don't remember the arcs. Until maybe they get to
No.
like the Sea King or whatever.
yeah, the Seeking, and it's like that's a fucking serious like story.
Yeah.
And same with like like stopping that meteor. That's not a parody. That's just actually
And like
shonen.
their reactions to
Hmm.
someone being this strong is like the interest. Like I'm still mad about how they treated season 2, because season 2 of like the stuff that was introduced in season 2 of One Punch
Yeah.
Man.
I will
is-
never.
Oh yeah,
forgive
Garou
Madhouse.
is incredible.
Garou is one of the most.
For sure.
Garou, Metal Bat, King. King is absolutely my
Yeah.
favorite One Punch Man character. Simply
It's
because the
fucked up. It's fucked up that like okay, My Hero.
Oh, Arda,
Oh, sorry,
you cut out.
my cutout. Yeah, but My Hero and One Punch Man are like really similar. Right?
cutting out again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. One Punch Man and My Hero are like kind of similar in the just in how they do things, just with the premise, and they both have like a villain that just like stands up against the heroes just for the sake of it, really, just because they don't like heroes. And Garou is so much better than Stain. but fucking everyone will talk about how the stain is this and that, and no one will talk about Goro just because of how hard they fucking mogged the anime for season 2.
Like Garou is literally, they just ask the question, why can't the bad guys win?
Yeah.
Because the good guy always
Yeah.
has to stop them. What makes them
Yeah,
a
and
good
like
guy?
it's like it's simple, but I can't really even like argue with it, you know?
Yeah.
Like okay, like you know, like the fucking Wojaks where it's like the seething Wojak typing on an essay, and then there's just the chat on the right. That's literally Stain and Garo. Stain's like going on about how like, oh, here's a corrupt and this and this, and Garo's just like, why can't they just win for once? Why can't the villains win? That'd be funny.
And you know, he does have a good reason, because like Garou's backstory goes into like kind of why. It's still more like, why not? Why can't they win? Like,
he doesn't even need a backstory, you know? Like Saitama's strong just because he's strong. So why can't the main villain be a villain because he's a villain, you
And-
know?
I think it's really interesting because Garou's a simple character, and that's what makes him so endearing.
Simple villain
Well-
for a simple
well-
protagonist.
Like Saitama, he's designed as simple, but his character runs deep. I think that's a really interesting contrast between the two characters.
It's the other way around for Garou. He
Yeah,
has this like really like cool like design where everybody he's like just I want to do villains to him.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
and you know what? He's I mean, not really fully in the right, but like he's just like, you kind of root for him.
He got a
I
point.
get it.
He got a
I
point.
get it. Yeah.
It's like, why can't the bad guys win?
What were we talking about again?
We were talking about Mashal, but yeah, this new Mashal
No,
chapter
it-
was really fun.
Yeah, that's all we really
It was
needed to
alright.
say about Mashal. Is it was a pretty good chapter.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fort Mashal, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's
what
next?
else?
Next,
I mean, you know the conversation's good when you just like keep talking.
You know what? Let's get the Chainsaw Man. Let's get the Chainsaw Man right now.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh,
Chainsaw Man's new chapter. I think this was like by far my favorite chapter. This
Like these
entire
past two chapters have been getting better and better.
oh yeah.
this chapter actually gave me like fucking goosebumps, dude. It was just
Yeah.
wow. Fucking wow. Okay, first of all, I just want to get it out of the way. Just before we get to the all the depressing shit, it was cute that Power was like, "Oh, Denji's my best buddy." That was
Yeah.
I know. That's
so cute.
highlight,
No.
highlight of the chapter. Highlight of the chapter. What this chapter confirms is basically Makima is the biggest two-faced liar on the planet, and I hate her so much for this.
Dude, I saw someone got a tattoo of Makima.
Oh.
and it's just
Oh,
like
yeah. It was in the Chainsaw Man group on Facebook.
That's
It's actually a good tattoo.
it's a good tattoo. Don't get me wrong, but that's like all the poor little kids that are named Daenerys or Khaleesi.
Oof.
Makima's gonna be like, my issue with Chainsaw Man is nothing with the series stuff. It's gonna be its fan base when the anime drops, because like
Oh god.
Chainsaw
Yeah.
Man's power obsessors and Makima, they're gonna be, oh, she's just like me, when they don't realize that Makima's like a super
I mean-
toxic character.
I mean, we already know somebody
I
like
know.
that.
I know. But like,
Power is going to become the next 02 from Darling in the Franxx.
Oh, yeah.
Not even. She's gonna be Ramona anime or Ramona Flowers.
Oh,
Didn't-
yeah,
no,
that
no,
too.
no, that's Makima. Makima's making Moon Flowers.
Oh,
People
yeah.
try to identify with her, but she's actually a toxic person.
Yeah.
I think
It's
what
a-
makes
It's a modern day Fooly Cooley, if you will, where
Oh,
everyone
shut up.
This is the point.
Get out.
I had this
Get
idea.
out.
So we know how Makima said, "Oh, if you beat the Gun Devil, I'll do anything you want." Right?
Yeah.
All right. So think about this. What if she's actually a devil and she accidentally made a contract with Denji right there, and Denji does kill the Gun Devil, which she thinks he won't, because she's obviously just trying to use him to do her bidding.
That'd be
So
really
meaning
funny.
she actually is like for on her life obliged to do whatever Denji wants.
That'd be a really funny way to get out of it, honestly.
That'd be pretty great, actually.
Yeah, you know, like I've had this theory for a while though, and like I think that it's what they're going towards is that they're gonna get like a weak devil and just fear monger it to be stronger.
No, yeah, that was the idea. They're like, okay, Makima's been filming Denji. Everyone's already scared of the Chainsaw Devil, right?
Yeah.
So Makima is going to has all this footage of Denji that she's going to put out into the world as soon as he's about to fight the Gun Devil.
Just gonna put her on
They-
life.
Buffing, like massively buffing Denji in the final fight. That's like a really cool idea.
I like to imagine that like while this is going, like while the videos are being published, Danji's just in his room like drinking like a cup of water or something, and then he just suddenly like fucking breaks it in his hand, and he's like, "What just happened?" Just because he got like such a big buff from it that he just like accidentally broke the thing he was holding.
I love the idea because obviously the devils come from like fears that people have. I love the
Right.
idea of the future devil.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so.
The real question is, does power living already exist? Because we've already seen stuff like a tomato devil, and that thing was pretty big. So that means people are actually scared of tomatoes in this world.
I don't think.
I'm about to Google that tomato phobia. Hold up.
Yeah, get on.
I don't think it's a size thing really.
I don't know. Because obviously Denji was able to take him down with just basic Puchita.
Yeah. See.
What if it's not the fear of tomatoes? It's just that the fucking weaklings that are like, no, I can't put tomatoes in my hamburgers. No. What if it's them?
That'd be great, but I just want to like highlight with Chainsaw Man like how kind of like almost like political it got in this chapter because of like the idea that the gun devil is actually like it's like a stock almost. It's like a shared asset between these like powerful.
It is like stock, yeah. They're
It's like
fucking playing stock market with them.
Yeah, it's just so like crazy and
I wonder what like the more how like obviously they have the gun devil locked up. I want to know like this terrifying imagery of this not even a complete form locked up somewhere that's gonna hit us with a shock eventually.
and then
Yeah.
like but it was like I was getting legit like Metal Gear vibes in this chapter because it's like they're talking about the gun devil is separated, but then like oh what about all these gun attacks and it's like oh they're actual man-made guns. Okay, how did that happen? Oh, because they're smuggled. But then it's like okay, so the government is funding an arms race to do attacks that is making people afraid of guns and therefore giving power to the gun devil.
Right.
It's just
I'm
it's
excited.
so crazy of a thought, a weird like
Yeah.
conspiracy going down the rabbit hole. And
I'm excited to see like the Division 7 guys because all the guys from Division 4 are just fucking either dead or they're MIA. And we're gonna
Kabeni's not going anywhere. We already know Kabeni's coming back. Nah, she
Didn't she quit?
No,
She
she quit, but she's totally getting dragged back in. She's too much of a fan
Yeah.
favorite. Her and her car.
But yeah, yeah, like everyone in Division 4 is fucking gone. It's just the three of them, and I'm excited to see what these Division 7 guys are.
And there's obviously more assassins coming after Denji. There's like there's still like the primeval fear. Yeah, there's how well, I think that plotline might be done.
I don't think so.
I don't know. The primeval fears. We saw the darkness devil. There's still so much more that they can do with that. Probably face the darkness devil again. I wouldn't
that
be
would
surprised.
definitely be a big moment for
Back
power.
to hell. Go
You
back
guys
to
think
hell.
you guys think that power actually got over the darkness stuff?
She got over it, but
No.
She got
Maybe.
over it
I
like,
don't-
in her own way, I think, for now.
he's gonna come back without a doubt.
Okay. Now, like, just now we have, like, I guess, kind of have, like, an answer to, like, they're trying to, like, power down the gun devil with this and this, whatever. Now I have another theory that I've had, another question I've had is, like, okay, in the West, there's a lot of people that have, like, a fear of clowns, but that's, like, almost unheard of in, like, Japan. So I
Really?
wonder if, like, yeah.
There's so many
So I wonder
iconic
if-
villains that are clowns in
No,
Japan.
it's
Yeah, no,
not-
Japan
Boogie
thinks
the
clowns-
Clown.
No,
No,
Japan
it's
thinks
super
clowns are
funny.
cute.
Yeah, like I remember when ARMS came out and like Nintendo like found out that like the Westerners were like, no, this clown girl's like whatever. They were like, what the fuck is wrong with these like guys?
She's bad. That's what she is.
Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I wonder like for example, if there was like a clown devil or something, would he be like more powerful in America than in Japan?
That's interesting. I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a collectivist thing or if it's by territory.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized too that they're gonna be going to other countries like continents too, to
Yeah.
like probably capture
like-
pieces of the devil.
Oh, do you think like do you think Denji's gonna go to like some like the shitty like frozen parts of Canada or like Alaska or something and just be really powered down because everyone there has a chainsaw?
That'd be funny. Yeah, there's no
Finally,
collective fear of chainsaw.
Power finally has a time to shine in a fight.
Yeah, that's one thing. But I started actually Fire Punch recently because of Chainsaw Man. It's the same mangaka, and wow, it is just actually insane. Like I'm only on volume 2 right now. I'm buying it physical, and it's just like I I was telling these guys like since before I started, I was like, I already know I'm gonna give this a 10. Not only that, I also said I don't even know what this is about, but I want to make a movie adaptation. So I'm actually like as I'm reading, I'm like writing ideas in like a script format. But then like I'm at this point now where I'm like, shit, I don't know if I could actually like be able to
How do
adapt
you?
this
How are you gonna get away with this?
because it is
You-
just for anyone that's into literature, I can kind of compare it in terms of like content and execution to something like Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, where like yeah, Blood Meridian has this like amazing story and a lot of people like it, but you cannot adapt that because there's just too much taboo shit. And like I get Fire Punch is like quote unquote Viz signature and it has like the 18 plus on it, but I'm still like amazed that
You get away
Even
with stuff.
even
Like
for seinen standards, it's really pushing it.
yeah, like seriously, like I was
this is
getting
like Berserk golden, like end of the golden age era. Like
Well,
yeah.
I think it's already surpassed that.
Oh, absolutely. Like
Just how
I'm
graphic it is.
even just from like the first chapter, I was like very like unnerved and like holy
I
shit.
think with Berserk, it's a lot of the bad shit that happens to the human characters is either like off screen or just mentioned or like implied.
Hmm.
But in this one, like you get to
You
see it
get to
happen.
see it happen, yeah. Um, oh my God. I mean, okay, so for those that don't know, Fire Punch, at least as far as I've got, I heard it, the story changes quite a bit, but
mm,
it's basically like this is a world that's been cursed with ever falling snow because of there's these people called the blessed and they have like kind of an ability, magical ability. So this ice queen used it to just curse the whole earth. So there's these brother and sister that are both blessed with regeneration, and so they stay in their little village and they willingly chop off their limbs so that they could be used as food and firewood because they regrow. But then what happens is their village is attacked by this guy who can create fire, and he kills the guy's sister. And this is shortly after she proclaimed that she wants to breed with her own brother. Um, because like oh population whatever it's strange but then so he gets set on fire, but because his regenerative abilities are so strong the fire can never die out and he can't die, so he wanders for like years. He grows up like he was a kid when this started and now he's a full
over
grown
10
man.
years. Over 10 years went
Over
by.
10 years of just being like on fire and in
In
absolute
pain, feeling
pain and
pain.
agony, and he just wants to find the guy that did this. But then meanwhile there's this eccentric film buff whose entire movie collection gets destroyed and is like a life without Toy Story is a life that's shit. and and so finds out about this guy that's on fire and decides to make an action movie starring him. And so
Just get like a camera crew and just follow him. It's not even a movie; it's like a documentary at this point.
yeah, it's like this filmmaker will like be brutally killing these people and then like look at the camera and be like, "Did you get that? Was it too repetitive?" And
Oh,
then
you left the thing on. You left the freaking cap on.
Yeah, and
yeah. And then like there's so many gags with that too that I love. Like for example, there's a part where they fight a character with the same power as one that they just fought. So the filmmaker is like, no, this is repetitive. Let's not waste precious film on this. We're just gonna cut this. Then the next page, it's like immediately we jump to like the end of the fights, and it's just like little gags like that that are just so great.
What do you think of Sun's character so far?
Oh my God. So
sissy fanboy.
yeah, so there's a character named Sun, and he gets mistaken as a girl. So he's captured with this other girl, and this guy comes, and he's like really like nice looking at first, and he's like, "Oh, I understand, like you're scared, but it's okay, we're friends." And he like hugs them, and then he's
I
like,
want you to. It's like
"I
I want you to have sex with my dog.
yeah," and he's like, "Now here's my two dogs. Now have sex with them." But then, Son, because he's a dumb little kid, he pulls down his pants, and when he finds out that he's a boy, he gets mad. They get attacked. He ends up chopping off Sun's legs, And then when he finds out that he is blessed with the ability to create electricity, he's brought to like this room with like hundreds of people that can also like
Okay. Seeing that for the first time, I had so many chills. Like
yeah,
this kind of like
it's
just a farm, just a
a
farm.
farm of people just strapped to chairs with like IV tubes in their necks to just like constantly be stimulating their powers so that they can have like unlimited iron, unlimited electricity, unlimited whatever. And it's just like it's so harrowing. But this mangaka is so great at mixing just like bizarre horror with bizarre comedy. And there really is like nothing like Chainsaw Man or Fire Punch out there right now.
Yeah, I feel like he's heavily inspired by like Tarantino.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially.
Tarantino, like in a weird way, I could see a lot of I forgot his name, the guy that made Parasite.
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, in a weird way, I see like similarity with like how they do
I see
like black comedy.
I can see that, yeah. Parasite
right.
is very funny.
I'm going to ask you this question, Eric. Should I start collecting more JoJo, or should I just go all out and buy all 8 volumes of Fire Punch?
I mean,
I've already read it.
Fire Punch is a really easy investment because it's just 8
Actually,
volumes.
Fire Punch for some reason started to go out of print. It's starting to go out of print.
Oh, really? Oh,
Okay,
buy
well,
that shit. Buy that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What
no,
are they?
the JoJo hardcovers are very beautiful, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll be
they
in
are.
stock. They're going to be in stock forever.
They'll be in stock forever. Yeah, because
Anyways,
So,
let's go ahead and get to that new series. Ayakashi
Did we do
Triangle.
that?
No, we didn't.
I thought we did.
No, we
Did
didn't.
we?
No,
Skip
we haven't. No, we have not. We have not.
So
this is
I
a
guess
yeah.
I've never read the previous guy's works. He is a Weekly Shonen Jump veteran who created 2 series named Black Cat and To Love Ru.
Black Cat is a great series.
I will
Highly
be reading.
recommend it.
So it has been 11 years since he has been writing anything in Shonen Jump. This is his first new series, and it's heavily inspired by like mostly Naruto. Like at first, I feel like a little bit of Naruto because just ninjas and jutsu and stuff.
Yeah,
And, like,
absolutely. Even
I'm trying
like
to think-
substitute ninjutsu and stuff like that.
I don't know. I feel like a little bit of Yokai Watch influence with like all the different like ghosts and spirits all the way around. So it's basically about this little ninja kid or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take over my ninja exorcist like grandpa's like business because I want to protect this girl I really like. And she's basically like this kind of like shaman basically who can like excrete this energy just constantly out of her body. That's why like spirits are attracted to her or whatever. And so it's basically like, oh, they find this cat that turns out to be like this evil demon in disguise or whatever. And then like the main character goes off, he's like, oh crap, I gotta stop this thing before it like actually kills her. And so he gets in this really cool fight. Like the action, the art, like how fast everything flows is really good.
Yeah.
I think like the line work is so sharp and like
when I started it, I actually had a moment of, oh no, like a page into the series because I saw that there was this like smart cat creature that was helping the character, like telling her shit, and I just instantly had flashbacks to Samurai 8.
But anyways,
Oh, man.
so yeah, it goes on like that. Turns out like, oh, the reason he wants to fight was his grandfather because he really wants to protect this girl because they're childhood friends and he has feelings for her and she does too. So during the fight with the cat guy, also a lot of these demons have really cool designs. I'm gonna go and say that right now. I actually got a little bit like of Yugen back when we read that. Like when they're fighting that spider demon, I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that Yugen like demon they fought.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do. I'm just getting right now.
So basically it's like, okay, he goes out to fight the cat creature and it transforms and they have this really cool fight. He's like, okay, my grandfather's been using this spell for 30 years or whatever, so this is gonna seal it. So the cat's like, oh no, they're gonna beat me and then they're gonna get all lovey-dovey after this. So you know what? I'm gonna ruin his fun. Last second before his powers get sealed away, he goes gender transformation jutsu and changes this guy into a girl. And like when I saw it, I was like, oh, when he's like, I have an idea what to do, I was like, I think I know where this is going. And then I turned the page and I'm like, why am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally like, why? And then, he's transformed to a girl or whatever. That's basically the series. This cat creature can't turn him back. He can't turn back to a guy. So it's very Ranma-esque, I feel.
No, that's not Rama-esque at all because Rama can freely change.
Yeah. But like, it's just the idea of like,
Yeah, I
I
get
guess
it.
trying
Yeah.
to find a way to like cure yourself.
Martial
that.
artist slash ninja is turned. Yeah, I get it.
But like, I don't know where this is gonna go. Obviously, we're gonna get more action. Maybe like I'm not familiar with Televeru. I think Televeru had a similar plot point at one point. I'm not.
It's already very different from like. I mean, I've only read Black Cat. And Kentaro Yabuki actually in his blog he said that this time with his manga he wanted something that quote will cheer readers up. So I'm not expecting anything like profound or artistic or anything. I think he had this funny idea and he just wants to like visualize
And honestly,
that.
I think it's gonna stay around a while.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I mean, this guy's a veteran.
Yeah, this is gonna be big. I
The
think just
veteran, and it's like the horny bait.
basically, literally both. But like, I don't know where this is gonna go. Maybe it's gonna be kind of like I think it's probably gonna be something like Inuyasha, basically, where it's
It's gonna be fun. I just know it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a fun little romp.
Yeah,
I think there's
that's
gonna
all
be
that
some.
matters. Yeah.
It's gonna be some interesting romance because like he's a girl now, and like the main girl. I'm kind of interested to see.
I
Like,
wonder where that's gonna go.
yeah, I really want to see this.
Dude, at this point, like Mitama, Mashal, and working are like the only things that aren't horny bait in Jump right now.
Just you wait.
Dr. Stone. I know
No.
Are you sure about that?
Well, okay,
sure about that,
listen,
Mr.
Dr.
Eric?
Stone has attractive women, sure, but it's not like the series expends a lot of time focus on that, you know?
You literally said that the author focuses on making nice pogs.
I didn't say that was his focus. I just said he does it.
It is. It is like all the panels are like structured
But the
in a way that
story
it
itself
always, like,
is not.
Yeah, the story itself is
story
structured
not
around
horny.
I read
what I'm trying
Dr.
to say.
Stone for the plot.
literally.
Oh boy.
But I think the series has a lot of potential to be something kind of fun. I don't know where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
I think
we still
the art is great. I love the design
Yeah.
of everyone.
Yeah, like
Oh,
Clayton said, those
actually, like,
those action
sure.
sequences look really good.
This is probably the sharpest looking series in Jump right now.
Yeah.
And
Like-
speaking of horny, A Gravity Boys did it again.
Yep. That's
Two
all.
chapters.
Again.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
You know.
A Gravity Boys is just like Dr. Stone. I just gotta say, like,
It's
damn.
for the boys.
Holy shit, yeah. Like it's so I feel like the author for A Gravity Boys is just so relieved to be able to draw like a prominent female character because this is such a male-centric series that now he's just going like all out with it with this one character.
What if like this is the only female character they'll ever have? So he's just like
Yeah,
putting it all
I
in
wouldn't
this.
be surprised.
I don't know. A Gravity Boys is weird. I don't know how long it's gonna go for. Probably still a little while. Like, I don't know. The thing with A Gravity Boys sets itself up to where it can pretty much end at any time. It feels like,
Yeah.
and I think that's part of its strength because it's obviously like, oh yeah, there's a time machine on the planet. Go have fun finding that thing. Okay.
Yeah. And then the only other like I mean like Mori King was fine, Mitom was funny, but the only other like I think that I could want to pay special attention to was Spy X Family. And not that it was like an amazing chapter, but it was just like a really funny one.
It was funny.
It's just the
Yeah.
punchline of it was what made it, and it was just kind of nice to have a real like chapter after that like what 9-page
After a month. Yeah.
Six
Page.
page.
6-page chapter.
Bruh.
Which Spy X Family, I got my niece actually into that because thank you Viz Media for releasing the first volume. It looks incredible. I love it. I will keep collecting it. And my niece, that was the first manga I ever showed her. She's 9 years old, and she just loved it. And then I took her to the bookstore, and
Teaching them young.
she picked Sailor Moon and My Hero Academia, which
Yeah.
I think are great. Like,
Yeah, they're great. Like
they're-
entry
they're
series.
great entry series, especially for someone like her. So, thank you Spy X Family for doing that. Thank you Viz Media. And I will keep supporting and collecting it.
All right. What about Time Paradox this week?
You know what? Time Paradox is pretty good.
I honestly not really too much to say about the chapter other than like some great development.
Yeah,
On the main-
I was gonna say, like, I was really happy that the main character, because I've been seeing a lot of people hate him because it's like, oh, he's a thief, and it's like,
But
yeah,
the thing is, he knows that, and he wants to.
mhm.
He's kind of dug
Now
himself
he's
into a
he's
hole
kind
that
of
he
trying
can't-
to make it his own now, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you know what? I really can't wait to see where like
Yeah,
it's gonna go.
I don't know where this can go, really. Like the introduction of the original White Knight creator, um, as like one of his editors was just such a curveball, and I kind of appreciate it. But yeah, it's a series that I don't know what it's gonna happen, but I'm looking forward to seeing it every week. I think it has a pretty good shot at lasting.
You know what? I think we have someone here who can finally talk about a series that none of us are reading at the moment.
Yes.
Haikyuu.
Oh God, what is there to say?
What do you like about it?
Well, I've always liked Haikyuu.
What happened in the new Haikyuu chapter, bro? Bro, nothing.
They hit the ball.
It's tough with Haikyuu to talk about chapter to chapter. Is there's like development, but not a whole lot, because games can go on for 20, 30 chapters.
Kaiji fans be like, "Yo, bro, this dude did the ball go in the hole." No. Okay, Mr. Goatee, I don't know if you're familiar with Akagi, which is by the same guy who does Kaiji. So the manga went on for a good like 20-something years. It's about Mahjong. It has the actual longest fight/encounter in manga history of 20 years.
Holy shit.
So they would go chapters without even making a single move in Mahjong, and at one point they literally run out of money to like bet, so they start betting their blood.
Yeah.
And then at one point, the main guy dies. The antagonist dies, goes to hell, causes an uprising, and comes back into his body to keep.
What?
Mahjong.
Wait, what is this?
Akagi, it's from the creator of Kaiji.
I'm gonna put that on my list.
And wait, the best thing about Akagi is it was licensed not even in like a manga magazine. It was just in a like weekly Mahjong magazine.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It was just a magazine dedicated to like Mahjong.
Yeah, he's doing another series right now with a female protagonist in that same universe because he's
Oh,
doing that.
interesting.
He's doing a few series. He's doing Kaiji still, which is on part.
Oh wait,
Uh,
Kaiji's
I
still
love
going?
Kaiji.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on part 6.
more like five or six.
Yeah.
What the?
Anime ended
Yeah.
up anime
The
ended
anime-
up part 2.
What?
Yeah, the anime only covers the first 2
Right.
quotes.
Akagi's anime didn't cover everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
Fukumoto has like he always has like a bunch of series going on at once. One that's like just started that I really need to get into is I don't remember the name, but it's about this guy that works a shitty office job and he's like really depressed. So all he does is he tries to go viral on Instagram and he's just seething that his post get like 12 likes.
and then there was like he was doing world's what was it world's
World Strongest Man
Kurosawa, which was like a construction worker who's basically like gets in a fight with like these kids or whatever, and it's like, you know, him just coming to terms with himself or whatever. Like he does all these really great series with that unique art style of his, which like I can't gush how much I love his art style because he does expressions better. Honestly, like people are like, "Oh, I don't like One Piece's art style because it's too cartoony. I don't like Kaiji's because it's too cartoony." Like
That's the point.
the point is, it's like supposed to like make things seem a lot more dramatic than it is. Kaiji's face when he gets mad, when he gets like,
the despair that he can show is like more
there's
than
so much more potential you can do with a more cartoony art style, with a mature story than like more of a basic one. I feel. I really want a season 3 of Kaiji one day. It's heavily possible because Kaiji's like, it's been almost 10 years since season 2. Madhouse recently did the Kaiji spinoff last year in an anime.
Right.
So it's heavily inevitable that we will get a part 3. The only issue is part 3 is Mahjong. Who do you know that plays Mahjong? No one. And then after that, we get to poker, which everyone.
Who do you know that plays like fucking like half the shit they played in Kaiji season 1?
Kaiji season 1. Okay, Kaiji season 1. Rock, paper, scissors. Balancing us.
What was that like? Fucking like king, peasant.
Yeah, they made
slave,
that. That was
like,
the game. They made that game up themselves, and then it's like, okay, let's put a tissue paper in a box, and that's the actual scariest gamble of the whole freaking.
Unironically, the pachinko in season 2 of Kaiji is the most intense thing in any anime I've ever seen in my life.
You'd be sitting there because it's like 10, 12 episodes. You'll be literally like on episode 8, banging your table, screaming for that ball to just go in the hole and begging to God that Kaiji can get out of this mess.
Fucking sweating bullets
Like
every time.
oh my God. And like the first half of season 2 is so good with that the Chilo game. The Chilo game, like they reveal, oh, this guy's cheating. So guess what? We can cheat ourselves, and they get away with it, and then completely like bankrupt this guy. That is the equivalent to like One Piece Arlong Park, of like these guys showing up and beating this guy so hard.
Right.
Oh my God. I don't think I can think of like Madhouse. Like I think they might have peaked at Kaiji season 2. It definitely around there.
Would you
It's up there.
would you recommend like watching the anime over reading?
Yeah,
Just watch it and then read after that.
Okay, yeah, because it seems like one of those styles that would like translate really well into animation.
Oh my goodness, the voice acting, the voice work. Brooks, voice actor from One Piece, is actually one of the antagonists in Kaiji season 2.
Nice.
He's the first antagonist, and he's just such a good job. I think the second antagonist is voiced. I think it's by Goemon. From Luffy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Oh, so good, so good. I could gush about Kaiji and like just Fujimoto's works all day.
Speaking of like anime and like wishing for it to come back, there is one that actually is coming back, and that is Shaman King.
Shaman King. Shaman.
I was so happy that in the trailer for like the announcement that Shaman is back, they redid the entire some of the first opening, and it sounds fire. Oh,
So the question is, are we going to get a new cover of the Shaman King thing, Mr. Goatee?
the
the
old
4Kids one, I
Kids
guess. I guess hire like the Australia Sydney Orchestra or whatever. The choir.
If you
Not
ever
choir cover, I gotta read.
My shitty little mic.
Oh yeah, you said you want to redo the One Piece rap. We'll do the yayo for you if you want.
That would be an honor.
I'll hold you to that, dude.
We mean it. Oh, we'll back that up.
Oh my gosh, we love One Piece so much, and we would heavily recommend one day. Take your time, please. Like I said earlier, it's not a commitment to get caught up on One Piece.
You shouldn't be rushed into it.
Yeah, people seem to get confused by like, oh, One Piece doesn't get good till like blah blah blah.
That's a lie.
It's good
lie.
at chapter 1, and
Yeah,
it stays good.
Like I said earlier, I started like roughly a month ago, and I just finished Skypiea, and I'm enjoying the series.
Yeah, and Hector, you're not even like rushing. You're taking your sweet little time.
Oh
So
yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how fast you read, Mr. Goatee, but like for me, it was I got caught up in like a few months. No, actually, what I did was
depends on what, I guess.
Yeah.
I think my experience with One Piece was I read the first 598 chapters. 598 is the time skip for One Piece. I took a pretty long break from One Piece, a couple of years. I was reading like other manga in that meantime. Came back to One Piece, and you know what? It felt like actually I was gone for those 2 years, and coming back to see everyone again, it felt so good. But like,
and One Piece also like isn't going anywhere for a while.
no,
Like we know have a general idea of when we think One Piece is going to end, but it's even then it's still gonna take a very long time. I'm
more than
estimating,
5 years.
Yeah, I'm estimating 6.
Oh
So,
wow.
Yeah.
As long as like nothing happens with like hiatuses and stuff, because One Piece does go on break like every couple, like maybe like 3 or 4 weeks.
Oda's a family man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important for somebody to take time and read things at their own pace in order for them to enjoy the series more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because initially my plan was to read 50 chapters a day, but I tried doing that the first 2 days, and I kind of got burned out, and I was not enjoying the sessions as much. So I'm reading like 25-ish a day.
Yeah, just read like
that works way better.
Yeah. Read like a little sub arc a day or something. That's
One Piece didn't get 982 chapters overnight. You know, you know.
Yeah.
So you got to take your time with it.
like this is a world that is bigger than Dragon Ball. Like the world building in One Piece, I can't think of any other series. I can't think of any other series that has the amount of like detail and world building and like heart and soul put into it, like One Piece.
Now, what I'm curious about is we're shilling these things to Mr. Goatee, but Mr. Goatee, is there any anime or manga that you would recommend to us or to anyone listening?
Man, well, it depends on what you guys haven't seen, I guess. It sounds like you guys probably.
little series called
You'd be surprised. I mean,
little underrated series called Naruto. From never heard of it.
Let me think. What I've been watching recently. I got a few weird ones.
oh yeah.
These
Do tell.
popular. So I was watching, have been watching a show called Space Brothers.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
I need to get into that.
Yeah.
It's a show that you wouldn't think would be interesting based on what it is. It might it might drag a bit. It's one of the most interesting shows I think I've ever seen, and it's really mature. Not like smut mature, but like it's seinen. So it's like it's a little more adult. But like you just follow this guy trying to become an astronaut, going through NASA like tests and trying to pass the exams and shit like that, and trying to join his brother who's already an astronaut. And that's like the whole story. You're just following his journey, trying to get through, and it's surprisingly compelling. And I've been really addicted to it. I'm like 40 episodes in, so I would definitely show that.
Okay.
And then I think what else I would shill. Let me take a look at my hold on. Let me take a look at my to watch on my server, because we do an anime night in my server. We have a whole that we watch. Please tell me.
Well, the fact that we're all kind of stuck in quarantine, we wouldn't mind watching some stuff.
Ooh, well,
Yeah, we might drop that.
Yeah, we'll drop by. We'll give him a little treat.
You want to hear our list?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Love to.
It's long, but I'll go fast. So we already watched Clannad After Story, Promare, Anohana, Weathering with You, Night is Short, Walk On Girl, Redline, and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. We're doing right now. So we already
Nice.
all that, and we're watching Brotherhood. And then we're doing How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift, Makia, Black Lagoon, Your Lie in April, Banana Fish, Prison School, Madoka Magica, plus the movie, Watamote, Toradora, Made in Abyss, Girls Last Tour, Land of the Lustrous, Grand Blue Dreaming, Parasite, Lucky Star, Princess Jellyfish, Yoka, Hunter, One Arcade.
Oh man, that's gonna be a long one.
That's like we're putting that in between other shows.
Right.
Nichijou, No Game, No Life Zero, Golden Boy, Melancholy
Yes.
Haru's.
Golden Boy, incredible.
Golden
You should
Boy's
do an English cover of the Golden Boy opening and just
Yeah.
sit on a bicycle.
Oh, that'd be great.
There's
That's a
this video. Okay, there's this live action recreation of the Golden Boy opening
Oh,
of a guy
no.
on his bike, right? So it's like it does like the panning shots of the bike or whatever in the garage door opening, but in the background there's this big Confederate flag sitting on his freaking wall. And it's the funniest thing
Oh
ever.
my god.
Yeah, we were not expecting that.
What?
There's some great series in there, man. Like that's Nichijou is an all-time classic in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And I really Banana Fish looks very interesting. I got that
That's one of my
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like she loves it.
got that recently recommended to me.
Yeah, I also heard that you mentioned Night is Short, Walk On Girl. That's a really good movie.
We actually already watched it. I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was it just it shows that here's the thing. I think you gotta have an acquired taste of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, question. Did you watch Hatami Galaxy already?
I hate Tatami Galaxy.
Why?
And that's why. 'Cause I can try getting into it. Hold on, I'll explain.
Okay.
I think it's the pace at which it moves.
It is
And
very fast, yeah.
it's fast, and there's a lot of like really weird shit that happens. It's very bizarre, kind of what's the word, abstract. And it was more so in Night is Short, Walk On Girl.
Mhm.
And about halfway through, I was just kind of like, why am I watching this? Like, what's
Okay.
the goal? And I
Um,
realized it isn't really a goal. You're just kind of watching this girl travel from a night of drinking, and you're just going through these weird situations. And I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I get why people do like it. I'm not one of those guys.
Okay.
It's just
I
not
I understand that. There is one series by that director that I think you might enjoy a lot is Ping Pong the animation.
I love ping pong.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Because
Yeah.
here's the thing, but here's the difference though. While ping pong can be abstract, the character development in ping pong is almost second to none. Like you stay for the characters. The animation can get a little woozy, but man, just there's so much depth for such a short show that I really enjoyed Ping Pong, as opposed to Night Short Walk On Girl, where there wasn't really much depth to anything. It was a lot of abstract humor, and you're kind of just there for the trip. And
it was just comfy. It was just comfy, really.
Yeah, it was. It's just like I actually, when we were in anime night watching it, I fell asleep. And you have to.
It just honestly feels like a night out with the boys.
Yeah, it's like it when I compare something like that to something like Grand Blue Dreamin', where it's like that's like college drinking life. I find more enjoyment out of that because I think it's funny. You know, if that makes sense. But like I said, yeah, like I totally understand why people enjoy it. It's just not really my I don't have an affinity for it, I guess. Like some people don't like sports anime kind of thing. It's like
I want to get into sports series. I think the sports series I'm more interested in right now is Haikyuu, Slam Dunk, and Reel. I really want to get into Reel because
I really want Reel to be made into an anime.
Yeah,
like,
it's the issue. Like Vagabond's never going to get an anime. It's just it's probably not going to happen. I don't know. Reel's more possible than Vagabond, at least.
That'd be such a cool series to have.
And Reel just came off like its 5-year hiatus recently too. So.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that actually.
So it's all I know. Yeah.
Sports anime is one I definitely want to get into as well. Haikyuu, definitely one of them, especially since that's ending soon. But one also is Ice Shield 21.
Yep, definitely Ice Shield. Don't watch it, but read it.
Yeah, I mean it's Murata. Murata's art cannot be topped.
It's just incredible.
Murata's art and fucking Inagaki's writing.
Yeah,
like that's good. That's a good fucking team up.
Oh yeah, just incredible. And the anime is it's fine. It's in desperate need of a reboot.
You know, one thing I'm really scared about is Ice Shield 21 is heavily recommended by Mr. Anime himself. Do you know who that is?
Ooh,
yeah.
Mr. Anime. Okay, so you know, like the golden age of YouTube anime reviews in like the late 2000s. One of them was Mr. Anime.
Yeah, the guy that did the whole.
He'd always be like, oh, I don't. I forget what series he said was overrated and he hated. He
hated Fully Cooley.
Yeah.
He hated Trigun. He hated Fully Cooley.
Oh yeah, it's like, you know.
I don't even know who this dude is, but I already hate him.
Maybe that guy deserves to be in jail.
Right.
Oh wait, it's that guy. Never mind. I know who you guys are talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about shot his whole family up. That kind of thing.
Yikes.
Mr. Anime is planning something. She got him on the podcast.
Yeah, that was his.
Oh my god, when does he get out? We're not. No, if you're listening, no, we're not.
We're not doing that.
Dude, he can make like a free call once a week. He can make a free call once a week.
Do you think he keeps up with like new anime and manga?
Can you do that in prison? Can you do that?
Just anime in prison.
No, he probably just like calls his friend once a week, like, "Hey, what got announced today? What got announced this week?"
Did Kaiji season 3 finally get announced? No.
So, hey guys, so I found his projected release date. It is January 1st, 5,555. We can totally get him on the podcast.
Right?
Yeah, there you go.
I guess he get life no parole.
Did he get life in prison?
Yeah, he got life.
I mean,
yeah, why wouldn't he get life in prison?
Dude, he's planning to go to school too. That's the worst part.
Oh god.
Life without parole, yeah.
Oh
He's
my
30
God.
years old now.
It's okay, dude. It's okay, dude. Once he comes out, he's gonna have a whole 3 chapters of Hunter x Hunter to read.
He has, if you go to videos, he has like this really rare box set. I think it was either Akira or like Cowboy Bebop. He has like this really rare box set of it. So I wonder if that thing's like rotting in his house or like the evidence locker.
It was the Amazon Cowboy Bebop box set. That's like it's like $200 now.
Oh my god.
He shows that off in like all his videos. Like, do you think that's in the evidence locker? Like just sitting there?
Oh my god.
I get it.
Hector, you were gonna talk about Transformers manga.
Oh yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I like to call Hector's variety hour. But instead of hour, it's like 10 minutes. And I'm shilling the Transformers manga. And basically, for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge Transformers fan. It's my favorite piece of media ever. And when I heard that they came out with a manga, the manga's actually kind of old, I think. It just got officially translated recently. And when I saw it, I was like, you know what? I'm getting into manga. Let me buy this little volume right here. And it's goofy, but like in the best way possible. Like you don't have to be a Transformers fan to appreciate it. If you just know the characters, you just know Optimus Prime, Megatron, you're gonna like it. Because they do like really stupid manga stuff. Like all the Transformers have special moves. And like they scream out their special moves. And there's this one scene that the Autobots, they like in the Transformers, they have like specific Transformers that combine, you know, Devastator, Superion, you know, those fan favorites. Well, there's this one panel that these Autobots that do not combine, they combine. And basically they're all in vehicle form, and somehow they like stick to one another. And like they call the move like Autobot combination crash or something like that, and they just like ran over Starscream. Something like that. It's great. and the other parts, it was I think it was Bruticus versus Superion. And what they did, they basically injured Bruticus's legs, so the two Transformers that were in charge of being his legs, they can't work. But then Superior was like, all right, boys, take over his legs. And then, like, they combine into Bruticus and they just like fly him off somewhere else. And like,
Really
it's
nice.
funny. It's stupid. Like I just kept reading. I was like, this is so stupid. This is not what I'm used to, but it's so great.
It's so interesting to see like other cultures, like you know they're adapting a Western property, and then you know I always find that stuff really interesting.
Yeah, they have an American division and a Japanese division, and like in the Japanese division, Bumblebee had to fight Soundwave and all his cassettes, and the way the way that he beat Soundwave was he punched his chest, and you know Soundwave since he's a what's it called, a tape recorder, not a tape recorder, a cassette player.
Yeah.
He can't summon back the cassettes, so the cassettes couldn't return to Soundwave. And when he got the cassettes back, he like untangled them. You know, like
What's some JoJo shit going on?
Yeah, they untangled. Hey, don't do that. We hate him when that happens. And that was so stupid.
I like the sounds because I'm just really used to like more like dark versions of Transformers, stuff like the Michael Bay movies or like the like a Transformers Prime.
Yeah,
You know?
Transformers. I think the best thing about Transformers is the fact that the concept is so simple. Like, oh, these robotic alien life forms transform, but you can implement them in so many different ways.
That's why Beast Wars works.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're succeeding with the manga. I can't wait to buy the second volume because it's really fun, and I recommend it if you're a Transformers fan, if you're just getting into the series, if you just know the name Optimus and Megatron, it's worth it.
Like cool shit.
If you like cool shit, it's worth it.
If you like big fucking robots beating the shit out of each other, you're definitely gonna like this.
It's great.
Arda, you have a series to talk about.
I have a lot to talk about.
Just the one series.
Yeah. Okay. Just first of all, I just want to say I finally finished the first major arc of Detective Conan. That's 128 episodes and 2 movies.
For one
Finished
arc?
that really. Yeah, the arcs for Detective Conan are like really long. There's not that many arcs, but yeah. So I find that Detective Conan was a big part of my childhood. I love it to death, and I've been going through it, just watching every episode, just whatever. But and it's good. It's good. It's incredible. I like it. Whatever. That's not the thing I want to talk about. In the past week, I got into a series called Tokyo Revengers, and I have been counting down the fucking days until I could talk about it. Okay. So, okay, are any of you familiar with the anime Erased?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree that Danny sucks?
Yes.
Okay, one of the probably the worst ending to anything I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Imagine if Erased was good, and imagine if Erased was written by like Naoki Urasawa. That's what Tokyo Revengers is.
What?
It's about this guy, Takamichi. He's like 26 years old. He's a bum. He just sits on his ass. He eats chips. He doesn't
God,
do
I wish that
anything.
were me. Oh wait.
Yeah. It is, yeah. Okay, and he's just reminiscing on like, damn, I really peaked in middle school, which is like I feel like something like a lot of us
No,
can agree.
no, dude. Middle school is my lowest point in my life. I feel so far.
But yeah, he was like, okay, like I had like my own gang and shit. I had like it was the only time I had a girlfriend, and it was like I peaked in it. And he sees that like his girlfriend in middle school died in like a crossfire between like the gang that he was a part of and like just some other shit. And he's like, okay, fuck. And he gets like transported back in time, and he has to like figure out how to save everyone from the gang, how to save the gang from just going down the shithole and becoming a terrorist organization, and how to save his girlfriend. And so yeah, it's time travel, whatever, but it handles time travel really well, where it sets up the rules and it like follows them. Like you can only go back to the past exactly 12 years. So it's like if you go back, it takes place in like 2017, so it goes with 2005. It's like, okay, if you go to like 2005 and this person dies, you have to make do with that. You have to fucking fix the future with that in mind, because it's not like you can rewind again and save them from dying. So it's just him just meeting everyone, working his way up, climbing the ranks of Tokyo Manji. That Manji, it's not a swastika, by the way, in the logo. That's just it's Manji. It means like happiness, whatever. It's the name
Yes,
of the gang.
a lot of people see it and be like, oh, because swastikas had issues.
Yeah. So it's kind of controversial.
In Japanese culture, in like actually Asian culture in general, the manji is seen as this holy like Buddhist symbol for peace and like happiness.
But yeah, I guess that's just the premise. Just him Takamichi doing that, working his way up, whatever. But this series is fucking incredible. This is some of the best writing I've ever seen in my life, and it's still ongoing. It's weekly.
Which magazine does it run in?
Weekly Shonen magazine, the same magazine as Fire Force.
Okay. I've read a little bit of it as well. I can vouch so far that it is really interesting story. I like this because one, I just love like delinquents. I think Japanese delinquents are somewhat is my favorite like archetype in like history.
Same here.
Especially like the delinquent with the heart of gold. I will never not fall in love with that like character type.
This series is bringing back delinquents, and it's fucking carrying time travel on its back. I don't know where to begin or where to end with this. When I say that, just if you have the time, read it. It's not that heavy of a read because a lot of it is like based on the character expressions and like the emotions and just action, because it is action. So it's not like walls of text. All the text that's there is just to help progress the story. It's mostly dialogue. And I'm trying to think of an example. I think
the closest thing that I've read to Tokyo Revengers is the manga for Old Boy, which I've completely read. So
I'm trying to think of an example to give from the manga without going too spoilery with it. So like, just think. Okay. The gang's leader, Mikey, and he had this older brother. I forgot his name. It's like Shinichiro or something. Fucking two of Mikey's friends who were like the co-founders of the gang wanted to surprise Mikey with a bike for his birthday, so they broke into this bike shop and tried to steal this really nice bike they had to give it to Mikey. And when the owner walked in, they accidentally like hit him with a wrench and killed him. And as it turns out, the owner was Mikey's brother, and he was saving that bike to give him for his birthday. And so they just realized they fucked up. And so because of that, the guy that killed him just leaves the gang, and he just goes away because he can't face Mikey with it anymore. And it's just this like seeing these childhood friends have this like falling out, and this falling out is in the past, and seeing that shit like carry on into the I guess the present, but also the past, you know? Because this shit happened before 2005, but like we're seeing him like talk again in 2005 about how like Mikey's like I forgive you because you're my friend, but I don't forgive you because you killed my brother. And it's just seeing how these people interact with each other. It's fucking phenomenal, man. It's fucking incredible.
It's interesting that we said like I forgot what Eric exactly how he said it earlier, like what anime and manga is. It's like it's like its own form of literature. It's a lot. It's very similar to like, of course, Western made comics, but at the same time, I feel like manga sometimes is taken a little more seriously.
It's more emotional based than like action based.
Like with comics nowadays, like you could still get that emotional stuff. Like Why the Last Man, the entirety of Sandman, phenomenal. Tons of like stories like Watchmen, which like it's Watchmen. Watchmen.
Greatest story ever.
Comics are more focused on like physical aspects.
It's really,
and manga is more looking into the minds of the people.
It's really, it depends. It's more that cultural thing because it's like how the Western writes versus the Japanese right. Yeah. You get like these two like things that compare and they compare and they contrast. I think that's the brilliance.
Yeah, it's a good balance.
Yeah, it's just the interest, like how cultures differ.
Yeah, I think what really put that into perspective for me was like, this is really weird, but like last summer I rewatched all of Young Justice, and that was the first time I had sat down and watched like a Western like a Western made like cartoon that wasn't like episodic or something. And I was like watching that and I was like, oh my god, if this was an anime, this would be fucking slow. And like that's what like really threw me off was like, yeah, I guess like Western made media is more fast paced and it's more centered around the bodies and like the physical like actions and shit of the characters. While in like manga you'll have these people fighting, but then the fight will like stop to a crawl because the character's monologuing.
Yeah, like because the thing with like Young Justice is like you know who the Flash is, you know who Batman is. You don't really need to know like what because I guess it's like these are based on characters you already know. While like manga for the pretty much all the times they're original properties, so they need to like introduce these worlds and stuff. Well, comics, while there are like unique series like coming out all the time, it's more focused on like these already pre-established characters and franchises.
If I were to tell you guys, like, I think the modern big three for Shonen Jump is Dr. Stone, Chainsaw Man, and My Hero.
I don't imagine Chainsaw Man getting like big like that.
I'm not talking about the sales. I'm just talking about like what I think my top three are.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like, what I think the best three are. It would be that for Jump, but if it was for every other magazine, every other weekly magazine that wasn't Jump, it would be Fire Force, Beastars, and Tokyo Revengers. Those, I think those three series are just, they hit me in these different ways where it's like, okay, it's the style and aesthetic of Fire Force, the world of Beastars, and the story of Tokyo Manji. These three series carry fucking everything that they have to tell on their backs with just those different, those aspects alone, and it does such a good job. And I guess that's really all I have to say about it. It's just good.
just yeah. I think
Yeah.
like there's always good stuff coming out. You know, it's just awesome that you know.
I'm curious, Arda, did you not put Jojolian there because Jojolian started like a decade ago?
It's monthly.
Oh, right. Duh.
Yeah, he's going by weekly, monthly. I don't know what to put. Jojolian easily.
I was
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually working on a little chart of like just expanding on more of this idea of like my like favorites, whatever. Like I could bring it up or I could just save it for another episode. But yeah, like actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll save it for another episode. Just because there's a lot to it.
I know.
I'm still working on it.
That's the fun part about this like podcast is just talking about all these different series and how they affect us and like how we relate to them because you know we're all different people and like you know
Yeah.
Arda finds I notice Arda finds like these series about like these more grounded series based in slowly more reality. I prefer a lot more like uppity. I wouldn't say bubbly. I'd say more like you know stuff like One Piece. I really like Shaman King so far. I love like the personality and like the worlds.
Like most of what I read is like battle shonen, but that's not even my favorite genre. It's just like if it was up to me,
It's what's
I
out
would
there
want to
like the
fucking read,
most,
like-
you know.
yeah. I want to read like fucking seinen and like horror mystery and
I
shit.
feel bad.
Like 24/7, but it's just hard, you know.
A complaint I always see is like, oh, you have a shonen brain. You only read shonen stuff, and it's like
It's,
shouldn't-
It's
it's because it's good. Like shonen
Dude.
in Japanese culture is probably the most important Japanese form of literature over there. Like shonen is not
unironically,
like young
yeah.
boys; it's for everyone.
Yeah.
Old, told tons of like people of different age groups read Shonen Jump weekly.
And, like
30-year-old
like
stuff.
and, like yeah, and because like shonen is like what I mostly read. Like I've been really interested lately in trying to get into josei, which is like the exact opposite because shonen is like young boys, but like josei is like older women, you know. And there's a bunch of it out there. I have a lot of it like queued up on my Tachiyomi, like in my library, which is like I just want to say my Tachiyomi library is like a fucking maze at this point. It's I categorize it by like author, whatever, but like that's still like 800 entries in there that I need to get through at some point in my life. But yeah, I'm just like I want to branch out. I want to read different things. The shit we talk about isn't even like it's not even like what I would like to read for the rest of my life. It's just, you know, it's good and it's good, you know.
I feel like that genre you said about old money. I feel like Mr. Goatee mentioned a series a little bit ago. It's like anime recommendation. I don't. Oh, was it
Space Brothers?
No, was it Kids on the Slope? Isn't that considered? Like,
No.
I was the one
No?
that said.
No.
Wait,
no, I might have. No, it's Josei.
Kids in the Slope.
It's considered Josei.
Is it?
Yeah, it says right on my
Huh.
notes that it is a Josei series. That's interesting.
I mean, okay, if Berserk is a shoujo, then yeah, anything works.
No, Berserk is a shoujo.
It is, yeah.
It runs in a shoujo magazine, and the creator himself considers it more of a shoujo.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. What an interesting little world we live in.
yeah, I mean, it's just so vast, and yeah, shonen is like by far the most readily available, and for me, that's why I find like I know it's kind of rewarding to go through it, but then yeah, like there is stuff that I want to like experience also, like Inuyashiki is one that's like really high on my list also. You know.
I'm really worried actually because there was some news this past week that manga piracy in Japan is like being heavily regulated even more now,
Mhm.
meaning that translations might become harder like to get in the West.
Yeah, I mean that only really like affects like me with like Jojolian and like stuff
Yeah.
that isn't like officially translated because like
I'm
any
still
other
worried like all
other
these
time
small
I just try to get as official as I can, you know.
like all these other smaller series like the manga for Old Boy or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's never been translated and probably never will be translated. Stuff
That's surprising actually.
like smaller series, I feel like it's like yeah they suffer because piracy, but at the same time you're not going to be able to get the stuff out in the
Some
world out west.
series, like especially saying that like there's just either no market for it or like would not fly over here. Like a series that I've been like following chapter by chapter for a while is Dead Tube, and it's like because that series is like really edgy and depraved, whatever. But I would piss myself if that series ever gets an official English localization, because it's about like fucking like filming snuff films, filming people getting raped, like live streaming this shit, and it's like this would not like I don't know how the fuck this could fly in the West, you know. So I have to like rely on these like fan translations, but even then these like scanlation groups have like so many. They always have like on average like somewhere between like 6 to like 12 series translating at once. And not only are they just low in manpower, you know, sometimes they just don't feel like it, you know.
Yeah, another series of
that too barely gets updates just because everyone that like translates it just gives up, and they're like, it's fucking sucks. This is just like it's fucking depravity every chapter, like just for shock value, and it's like, yeah, it is, but that's why I like it, you know.
another example of a series is the creator of Dorohedoro, Hayakasa Q, is that her name?
Hayashida Q.
Hayashida Q. She's working on a new series called Die Dark, which is a monthly series.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like the series so far. It's only about 12, 13 chapters. It's got so much personality and world building compared to like Dorohedoro. And like I don't know if I can see the series coming west because Dorohedoro is a very cult series in general. And I'm honestly surprised that it even came west officially. Like
Yeah.
I'm worried about series like that because like I want to read it, or like Baki. Baki is now like starting to come west with the anime, but the manga's really only been translated part 2 and no other parts.
There's this manga. It is my most like wanting to read manga ever, but it's been like only like half of it has been translated, and the other half's just been like fucking gone for like the past like I think it's been like a decade now since like the last time they updated it, and it's MPD Psycho. It's about this detective, which is first of all, it's detective. I love that shit. Whatever. It's this detective who has a multiple personality disorder, and he has to solve these crimes while also wondering like did I do these? Like did I do these? You know. And so, just for the longest time, I wanted to read this, but I know that I just fucking I was gonna read it. And I'm gonna start fucking pissing myself and like banging on my desk because I can't finish it, you know?
Another series I'm like that with like Bobobo at the moment. I mean, it's starting to finally get translated. We're about 25 chapters away from Bobo being finished, but like the last time it's been updated was 2 months ago, and you're lucky to get a chapter every like 3 months. And I'm really hoping they can like get on that because like I love the anime and I've always wanted to see the ending of Bobobo.
So I mentioned this, but covering the first opening to that.
Oh, for Bobobo.
Uh-huh.
Say what, Bobo?
Bobo!
Say what, Bobo? Yeah,
Don,
stand.
I'm for a chance to upload it.
Yes. Oh, that is the best news I've ever heard. Fubate, go, gay style.
Okay. I can't believe this, but the dub is. I feel like the dub and sub for Bobo are both so on par with each other because they're both so good.
Get those
Those
Chinese
Japanese-
words off
That was
me.
all
Yeah.
for me.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I remember watching Bobo and Cartoon Network back when I was like really young, and like whenever the bumpers came up, it's like up next is Bubba 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 Bo, and it's like Blue from Foster's Home saying it.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're reading Bleach, and I made it to Ikaku, and the entire time I saw him, I was just thinking of Sar Baldy Bald from Bobobo.
Oh my. Bobo is such a good series. I just wish it got more attention.
Yeah.
I love the art of the Bobo because there's Bobo and Shin Bobo, which is the sequel series that went on for about 100 chapters. That's been fully translated. It's just the ending of the original Bobo has never been translated, so you can't read Shin without reading the end of normal Bobo, which
Hey,
sucks.
you know, if Shaman King can come back, if
I know.
Bleach can come back.
We were having a discussion about like if you could bring back an anime series, you have to, okay. So like Fullmetal Alchemist, right? Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So an anime comes back, you have to give it a subtitle. My predictions are mine is Toriko because Toriko's anime sucked. I'd say Toriko full course.
The ones I thought of were Tokyo Ghoul Centipede and like for Soul Eater, either like Meister or like Madness
Yeah, I was thinking that.
or like Moonlight even.
I don't know what Bobo would be. Like
Soul Leader
An
Paperman.
extra bow.
head,
An
like,
extra bow.
like head or head on. Like yeah, for head on would be great.
Why not just call it like Shinbo? You know.
No, that would be the sequel though. So
I don't know. I think Bobo's like self-aware to the point that it could be like Bobo the reboot.
yeah, it's so like on the nose.
Yeah.
The real Bobo.
Yeah. Because how the anime ended on Toonami, I remember watching this on Toonami. It was they were going to the final and Sir Bodyvault's like castle or whatever. Like, okay, we're gonna stop this guy. And he's like, oh, sorry guys, the anime ends here on a cliffhanger. Bye, and they're all saying their byes or whatever, like running towards the castle. And I forgot what his name is, the white haired kid with spiky hair. He's like, yeah, you smell something weird? That was me. Bye. Bobo is like such a phenomenon.
Oh,
I just. It's just so good.
Yeah, I already talked about before, like what I'm reading. I mean, it's just Fire Punch. So
Yeah,
I
he
don't
stars
really
Shaman King in some Tokyo Revengers. Watching what I forgot. I already forgot the name. Paranoia Agent. There you go.
Yeah, we. Oh, I am going to talk about Paranoia Agent a lot with you one-on-one, man.
You're gonna bark my ear off.
Yep.
My phone's gonna explode from messages.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add, Mr. Goatee? Sorry we went on this kind of like rants about like nothing in particular.
Yeah, Bobo.
It's all right. It was good to listen. No, I don't got really much to add. It's just good to listen to, though.
Oh, thank you, man. That really means a lot.
Yeah,
Actually.
good background noise.
Do you have like anything else that you're watching besides like the stuff you've talked about already? It doesn't have to be just like anime. It could be like just anything in general.
Well, I usually only watch anime, honestly.
That's fair.
That's us also. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this season not really because everything got postponed.
Yeah, One Piece comes back in 2 weeks. Black Clover as well, I think. Kingdom, Kingdom's anime. I think that's still on hiatus.
Right.
I don't remember when Haikyuu season 2 is coming back or the new.
It's coming back this season, but it's coming back next. It was supposed to come back this season.
Yeah, RE0 is coming out in July. I haven't seen it, so
There's only a few that look any good for next season. Next season's kind of
there's not that many.
Honestly, it's fall, winter, like a Jujutsu Kaisen. That's like the big one.
I think God of High School is gonna.
Oh yeah, God of High School looks like fire.
It looks great, and I remember soon, and it's really good.
Attack on Titan season 3.
I'm really interested in The Great Pretender.
I would be too if Netflix didn't take it.
I like Netflix.
Problem because then I gotta watch it. Watch it weekly.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, I think Netflix is like just fucking carrying the anime industry on its back, but also like I don't like how the shit they get exclusive rights to comes out like a season after it finishes airing.
Like Beastars, like Dora just came out last week.
If it's something that's weekly airing, they shouldn't do it. But there's like stuff like Devilman Crybaby where they
want to binge that.
Oh, that reminds me. Japan Sinks 2020. That's coming out in July.
Yeah.
That's just like Devilman Crybaby where they're putting it out in bulk.
Yeah.
Because Japanese Netflix, they'll do weekly, but Western Netflix is more dedicated to binging.
Yeah.
So they will completely
me American, me consume.
Also, Yu Yu Hakusho and One Piece are coming to Netflix.
Ooh.
They were already. One Piece is already out.
Okay, One Piece is already out, and Yu Yu Hakusho coming out on the 24th or 26th.
I actually own Yu Yu Hakusho on Amazon Video because there was like a glitch or something where you could buy it for free.
Boop.
Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite dub of all time. I will go and say that now. The dub is
Space
so
Dandy for me.
Space
As far as
Dandy.
dubs go, Space Dandy and Golden Boy
Yeah,
and Cowboy
yeah.
Bebop.
No,
Eh,
Full
it's hard.
Brotherhood has a pretty good dub.
Bro, Fully Cooley's dub is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Mr. Goatee, did you say Ranma?
No. I said Full Metal Alchemist.
Fullmetal Alchemist. I don't know how I heard Ranma. I actually Ranma has a really good Spanish dub. Actually, that's how I watched a lot of it.
Yeah, so say
And like, what do you call it? Dragon Ball, The Simpsons.
The
Oh, yeah.
Simpsons is fire in Spanish. Actually, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you know what? Real quick, while we're like talking about just like stuff for like this season, whatever. There's an anime getting published like this season, like coming out this season. It's called Ikebukuro Westgate Park, and it really interested me because it's not based off like a game or like a manga or light novel. It's based off an actual like novel, like an actual Japanese novel. And I can't really think of anything else that's been like based off a novel before.
Count of Monte Cristo.
I just realized freaking
No, like a Japanese novel, you
Oh,
know?
I see.
I just realized both Shaman King and the new Dragon Quest anime coming out are both based off like older series that have had animes before, but we're getting like the full thing this time. It's pretty interesting.
It's all just circling back, dude.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I like the direction the anime industry is going in though. Like not only are they like finally getting into like manhwa and shit, which is like that's a whole new world. But I guess they're also just like going back to their like roots and like adapting Japanese novels now, you know?
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so
Maybe
much,
that means
just
Purple Haze feedback.
so much exciting stuff, and just like stuff to just keep your eyes out weekly, you know. And that's what this podcast is for. I think that's a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to our guest, Mr. Goatee. You're just
Yeah.
so chill, and
Yeah, we absolutely want you back on.
Oh yeah, you're the man.
Yeah, this was
You're
fun.
the Haikyuu man. You're the Haikyuu man.
Yeah.
we're gonna start Haikyuu just for you.
Yeah.
Oh, it might take me a minute.
Just because you're a good guy, I'll forgive you for not liking Melissa.
Oh, you held that grudge for the last 2 hours. I knew it. I felt so bad. I'm sorry.
It's like I'll guilt trip you live. I'll guilt trip you about it.
If I cover it, will you forgive me?
Yeah.
Everyone recommend a cover to him right now.
All right.
Oh, God.
Over the top One Piece. Thank you. Okay, that's it.
Oh God. I don't even know. There's so many. Definitely Viva Namida from Space Dandy. I think.
Oh
that'd be
yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
people want me to cover that, honestly.
Honestly, if I were to say it, right on Shooting Star.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I actually really like that one. I'm writing that.
He pulls out his little. He takes his hat off. Pulls out a notepad from inside.
Mr. Goatee's trilby is like Bobo's hair.
Yeah, just
Shit out of it.
squirrels inside. Oh, we need to watch more Bobo artists sometime.
Yeah, we do.
Just,
We should do that tonight.
what about Sword Art Online, guys?
Oh yeah. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Goatee, what is your opinion on Sword Art Online?
So I got an interesting opinion on.
Okay.
Dude,
So there was a kid in my server who was asking because he never watched anime before. He's asking for recommendations from all of us for stuff to watch, and we gave him big list of stuff. I think it was like 7 or 8 things, and SAO came up from one of the people, and I almost wanted to say no, but then I thought about it for a second.
it's a rite of passage.
It's a rite of passage. It's like, as far as a beginner's anime goes, it kind of shows you what could be, and it makes you think, man, what this could have been. Or I wish it could have done this. Or I wish it could have done that.
Yeah.
And
We're watching it together.
close to being good, but they're always just kind of always short on everything.
Yeah.
And you
Me,
see what
yeah.
See, that's what you keep hearing about season 2, but it makes us curious to watch it. So we've actually started a group watch.
Ooh, for
Yeah.
Gun Gale?
It's
No.
No,
Sword Art
we're
Right.
starting from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're like getting to like the
Yeah.
the fairy
Like-
league.
Yeah. Me, Eric Clayton, and our other host, Colin, who's not here today. We've been slowly making our way through it. We're like 5 episodes in. So far, we're liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing with, I mean, this kid in our server was really enjoying it, and that's the thing. Like, there's some good that SAO does, but you haven't gotten to where it gets bad yet.
Yeah.
We'll,
So-
we'll be the judge of that. We'll,
Yep. Be the
Bad-
judge. There
isn't-
is a place where like a lot of people drop.
I know a
Yeah.
lot of people either say the second half of season 1 or just season 2.
Honestly, the first, like the actual Sword Art Online, not Sword Art Online 2,
Yeah.
you're probably going to get through it fine. Like me and my wife did. And while there were some problems in season 2, I actually really enjoyed the good parts. It's Gun Gale that you're going to,
Okay.
a lot of people drop off bad.
Like I'm not an Isekai guy. I get bored by Isekai really easily. I think I liked Overlord. That's it though.
Yeah, it depends on if it's done well. Like
Isekai
Rising of
just-
Hero, I thought was great.
Okay.
But
yeah,
what-
Log Horizon. I heard Log Horizon's good too.
The
Log
only-
Horizon, it's a little dry compared to SAO.
Mhm.
The only one I've like really like sat through and I liked was ReZero. I thought it was really
I
good.
think Excel
Bob's
World
really
is very underrated.
I kinda want to try that reincarnated as a slime, just because I've been seeing get awards and stuff over in Japan.
It's one of my. That's I think my brother's favorite show. It's Reincarnated as a slime. He loves
I'll
it.
check. I'll check
Swear.
it out.
So
I'll hit you up and let you know what I think of it when I do.
Yep.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
feel
got to
free.
my server so you can watch some anime with me too.
Ooh. Oh shit! Yeah, we're down.
That'd be great.
Hey, I'm
yeah.
down whenever.
Fuck yeah, we always have people in there. I'm gonna do that.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you just so much for your time and just like for what you do, you know, on your YouTube channel and everywhere. Like, just big shout out to you, man.
Thank you for the kind words. It means a lot.
Thank you for the kind words.
We're just these young adult shut-in weirdos, but we
Yeah.
just we
I go
just
back to work in 2 weeks. That's
Hey,
fine.
that's what I am.
I'm turning 21 this Thursday. Let's
21?
go.
I turned 22 in October.
Oh man, I gotta say when I turn. Oh god.
no,
Yeah,
like,
See if
no,
you guys.
You
How old-
never listen, man. You never ask a beautiful lady her age.
That's a good answer.
I think that's a good place to end it. And
Yeah.
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 end it. And